Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Yeah, my name is Sakshi Kulkarni, Director for SME Chamber of India, and I would like to welcome all of you on behalf of SME Chamber and as well as SME Business Forum for this today's event, which is we call as a SME Business Forum Meeting. So this we have started organizing every month where we inviting the all members, non-members, so they can come, they can attend, and they can interact with each other and they can develop their business by the way of networking. So as you know that today's agenda, we are having around 4 speakers and they are going to talk about the activities of their organization and as well as they can speak about some kind of importance in their particular respective areas, and it will be followed by a one-on-one session. So all the participants will get introduction, they can introduce themselves for 5 minutes and then later on it will be followed by high tea. So thank you once again for joining, and now I'm inviting Ms. Kushnama Khan. She is advocate and solicitors from KK Associates. Ma'am, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's Kushnama Khan and I'm the opening batsman for today. As she has said that I'm a lawyer. So I've just not confined myself to a lawyer. I have given it a very wide meaning to the term lawyer as far as I'm concerned. So I will give you my background. So when it comes to law, I'm an advocate, I'm a solicitor, I'm a notary, I'm an advocate on record for Supreme Court of India, I'm an international arbitrator. So, I always had that aspiration in me to be everything in the law and just not be confined to one particular term as a lawyer. So I have defined that in myself. I am an MSME like you, but I wanted to define myself in a very broad way. So that is very short about me. My firm, of course, since I'm a proprietor of my firm, so it covers everything under the law when it comes to advocacy or advising or notary or appearing in Supreme Court or in any courts or appearing in arbitration internationally or MSMEs for facilitation council samadhan. So it's everything we do. We do transactions in India and outside and abroad, everywhere. Today what I have chosen as a topic to speak about, I mean it's very close to the females, and that is about Bosch. So I think everybody sitting in this room knows and are familiar with what is Bosch. Bosch is prevention of sexual harassment. So I look at it that a sexual harassment cannot be confined to a female. It can be also extended when it comes to a male employee. So sexual harassment can be with anybody, and it just not can be physical act, it can be spoken words or certain actions which are inappropriate. So that is what is the subject today I have chosen. So this is KK Associates is my company. Do you want to write for this? Yeah, so this is a little bit of about me. I didn't know that I will be getting 15 minutes because earlier when I attended, it used to be only 5 to 10 or maximum 10 minutes, but this is a expanded time frame. So anyways, I will try. So I am based in Mumbai, Delhi and also in Dubai. I have an office in Sharjah city, Sham city, that's a free zone. That's where I hold my license. Plus I have a partner associate in Dubai. So that's in business way. So we do a lot of transaction work based out in India and Dubai. This is a little bit of touch base about what my firm does, a little bit of it. So yeah, as I was saying that we will be speaking about POSH. So what is POSH like? So as I just said that POSH is, it's sexual harassment, prevention of sexual harassment. Now, when we talk about POSH, uh, the law itself says that any company which has an employee 10 and above should have this policy. And there are regulations and how it has to be framed, how the complaint committee has to be framed. It's all there, written over there, and it's mandatory for such large organization with having employees of 10 and above. It's become mandatory for them to have, not just to have this complaint committee, but it is also mandatory for them to have a regular expert review and trainings and everything related to it, and they have to give their compliance report. So everything is very important. How it is can be considered important for MSME, that is something which we will talk about. Now, as I say that as an MSME, most of us would be a homegrown firm, family concerns. So most of the people within the family would be with us and with you as well. So it's a family organization. But just having people around in the family is not sufficient. We have to hire people from outside, because everybody in the family may not be an expert what our particular business would require. There is expertise now in every field. There is an expertise which is required. So is in mine, so is in yours, everybody. So there is an expert who may be required in your business, particular business. So you would be hiring that expert, maybe a male or a female, that doesn't matter. So having said that, we have to have at some point of time to grow our business certain experts or certain people who are very experienced to also be a part of the organization, so that the organization functions well. But having said that, MSMEs are like, may not be, most of us may not be more than 10, maybe less than 10. But does that mean that just being less than 10 is, we do not fall, of course, within the category of having mandatory POSH compliances, but to have a start and grow with a regulation and with a foundation is always important for a business to grow. So even if an MSME is less than 10, it is always important for them to have within their organization a system which is MSME or POSH compliant. So because today you are small, tomorrow you will grow. Of course, we are all here to grow, and inshallah, everybody here sitting would be growing every day. So when you grow, you require everything into your compliances. Starting at the very threshold is always important for an organization. Anything. Sometimes, when I started my business, the first year I did not earn. I mean, it was a very fresh business, because being with an first I was as a solicitor, associate solicitor with a very big organization, a very big law firm. Then I thought of starting on my own because I was done with it. And then I started, so it was difficult for getting clients and making money for the first year. So the first year I did not have any income, not much income in the sense that not so much of the income that would make me income tax compliant, but still I had my CA. On the very first day I had my CA. So I wanted, because I'm to be very honest, the numbers are like the runaway with me. So I'm not very good at numbers. I'm very honest. So I thought that, if I am doing my own business, the first thing that I need to have somebody who will help me in numbers at least, where I go wrong, what I do. So then he said that, so I said that, okay, now we have to pay the taxes. He said, you don't have to pay because you are earning nil. So that doesn't matter if I have done nil, but still, let me be proud taxpayer. I will still file a nil tax. So I wanted to have that pride in me that I am paying tax as a businesswoman. So that was a very real, very happy feeling for me when I first time paid my tax. Similarly, when you start with anything fresh with your organization, be proud of it that you are the inception and you have given wings to yourself. You have entered into an arena that will obviously start growing as you grow, as your business grows. So it is always welcoming that you as a business entrepreneur start. The first thing is this: implement this Posh into your business. How it will impact and how it will be, what effect it will give it to you, your business and to you, how protected it will be, and what benefits you can get out of it. So once you get into it, the policy, the first thing is that there is a confidence which comes in your employees. They get confidence of you. Whether it is an existing employee or it is a newcomer employee, the first thing they will see today is what is the protection a company is offering. So when you have such policies placed in your company, even today you may not be having an HR. I mean, how many of you do have an HR in your company? Can you raise your hands, please? Nobody. So yeah, even if you don't have an HR in your company, but still having such policy in place gives so much of comfort to your employees, because they know that at time when it is really needed room to approve. Because most of the time it is seen that many a times we receive complaints and we receive employees come to us. I have seen this pattern mostly when I was in Dubai. I was representing the Indian Embassy and Indian Consulate, and there were several employees' issues which were with them, which were handled. And I used to come, and the biggest employee issue was that there was so much of, they were not paid well, plus there was so much of harassment, sexual and otherwise, and they did not know what to do and whom to complain. So, of course, the laws, there is nothing like Posh, but since we have in our country such a protective measures which we have for the employees, which the government has given to us, so it is better that we implement this to give that, to give a shout and to give a confidence to the employees that yes, we are here to protect you. You don't have to be scared. You don't have to be afraid. We have a complete policy in our company which will listen for any problems that you face, whether it is a male or a female. So such problems, when an employee gets such security, that gives so much of confidence, and the amount of performance also increases, because it's not just the money that always an employee runs after, but it is also security which they look for. So that is one important thing which will turn the performance of the employee, and then it also at the same time the performance of your company also expands and it changes altogether. So how do we come in picture and how do we support MSMEs for that? So we conduct classes, we conduct training sessions with the MSMEs and their employees. We try to work out the internal committee, a complaint committee with them, that how you need to form an internal committee within yourself, what experts you need, how many times. Then there is a quarterly or monthly, as the company is comfortable, reviews whether any complaint is received and how soon the complaint is being resolved by the company, or whether it has to be referred to an expert for resolution. So all that we try to help and support the MSMEs. So this was a very brief gist what I wanted to give you all about the policy of Posh. So if firstly, so please you all should always consider drafting a policy. The Posh policy. If you may not, most of you may not be having an HR policy in place, the employee policy, how the employees needs to function, what are the terms and conditions, what are certain performances it is always important that you have employee policy written so that the employees know that what are their rights, what are their liabilities, what are expected from them by the company, how the company looks at their performances. At the same time, similarly, it is also important that you have a POSH policy. You may not call it POSH, but because you may not be having 10 or plus, having 10 or plus, it is mandatory for them. But you can include within your HR policy a draft of a policy which will see to it that how you are available for your employees for resolution of the problems that they face internally within, and which they may not be comfortable for becoming vocal. So that policy has to be there. There has to be identification of a person to whom the members or the employees at the time facing any problem, they can approach that. And that person has to be really amenable, and he has to be friendly spoken, just not somebody listening and not doing anything. So he should be that friendly and that spoken and that amenable with the employees to see that whatever problems are coming are finding a resolution for them. So that is keeping in view the interest of the company, just not the interest of the employees, but also looking at the interest of the company. So this is what I wanted to, say about the POSH, because I cannot give a big lecture. It will be very boring if I go into the all sections and provisions. So this is just the outer frame what I wanted to convey from my side, that why a POSH, even for an MSME, is required. And going back to my profession, so I have spoken about this, now going back to this. So we do all sort of business setups. So, when you have an idea that how a particular business you want to do, how it would be, what sort of an arrangement or what sort of proposal or what identity or entity you want to start for a business, for a very fresh business. It's like a startup. So we advise on them how the ideation has to go, what is the actual entity which will be crucial for doing a business. I'm recently advising a client who is based out of Canada, and he wants to start a business of his own. So we are advising him. So I am here in India and he is in Canada. I do know about the laws in Canada, but and he wants to do a business in Canada, and he's seeking advice from a lawyer based out of India, because they feel that India has so much of exposures to startups and MSMEs. So the lawyers over there are good at advising on how a business has to be started, rather than the startups and MSMEs are not having so much of legal policies and statutory policies and compliances. It's not everywhere spoken like we speak in India. We have completely Act. So MSME Act itself is a complete code which governs that how you do the registration, what are the categories which needs to be there, registered. Then how do you claim when you don't receive a payment in time? Where do you claim? How do you file the claim? All that is there mentioned in the book, so it becomes a complete code. And what is the procedure which needs to be followed? So it's very beautifully written. Only thing one needs to know it more in detail, that how it needs to be followed. So that is what we do. Then we do, of course, having an exposure to internationally, we have contracts we draft. Not only the contracts for your business contracts, we also do employee contracts, we do HR policies, we do POSH policies. Then yes, your intellectual property, so any brand, any businesses that you have, which is your ideation, which is your product, so how you need to do a trade registration or a patent to it, or your copyright, so that we do. Then of course compliance and regulatory. So if you are a small company, for private limited company, then what compliances are required, because whether it is, of course, if it is a public limited company which is listed, so the compliance is different. If it is a closely held company, the compliances are different. But you have private limited company, then compliances are different. So And so that those compliances, how it has to be done. So we keep a regular check and we help our clients. Every time we call up, as and when there is when you want to get up early in the morning, there is an alarm which rings. Okay, this is the time you want to get up, and there is an alarm which rings. So we are an alarm, like we act like an alarm for our clients. That okay, now this is the time you have to do this. If you don't do this, there is a fine. So whether we give it an alarm to the clients that this compliance is to be done. If you don't do it, then there is a penalty which you have to pay. If you do it in time, fine, good. Then of course, dispute resolution is like when there is a dispute resolution is mostly which includes arbitration, negotiations, and mediations. So those are different. So we always try before going to court, taking our clients to court, and for years and years together sitting there not happening anything, we always try to negotiate, mediate, and the last resort is that we go to the arbitration process or to the samadhan. Especially for MSMEs, we prefer going to samadhan, but that is a last resort because first we think that always it is better that we have to first sit and do a friendly and amicable talk. So if that works, good. Then it's all win-win for everybody. If that doesn't work, then the next resort is that we go to samadhan application. I had recently, there was one client from Pune and he approached us. He said that we want to do arbitration against our company, but the charges are very high in Bangalore and in Pune, everywhere. So I said, charges are the same across India because arbitration, there is a schedule and the schedule gives the fees, so we have to pay through the fees whether it is in Bangalore, Bombay or anywhere else. So he said, I cannot afford that, what should I do? So I said, okay, get your papers to me. So he came to my office from Pune, he brought his documents to me. So I said, do you have MSME registration? He said, yes. So I said, get me the registration. So he got me the registration. He got me the registration which was of 2023 and his contract was of 2021. So I said, boss, you do not fall in this. Do you have a prior registration? So he said, I have to search. I said, then I gave him the, there is a memorandum, there is a udyog, so check if you have any of that. So he checked, he found that there was a registration which was 2018. So I said, get it. When he got it, then I explained, because you are an MSME, your contract, your registration is now prior to the contract, whatever you have. So you can very well go and file your case before the MSME. Samadhan. Trust me, believe me, that the client was not even aware what is Samadhan application. He was so ignorant about it. And then I have to explain him what is Samadhan application and how it needs to be filed. So even today in MSMEs, there are businesses who are not aware that how an MSME needs to run, what is required to be done. So then it becomes it's onus upon us, especially I take it as my onus being a lawyer, legal fraternity, knowing the law and so closely connected and working for MSMEs to make my community, that I consider MSMEs to be my community because I am also an MSME, to make them aware whatever I know, whatever knowledge I have to impart those knowledges with my community. Corporate governance, of course, if you are a company, then there is a corporate governance, then recovery of Samadhan, I just explained. Legal due diligence, this is very important. Whenever you come for a joint venture or you take a property, we are just, even on leave-in license when you take a property, we are just not bothered to go to a lawyer. We go to any crap person sitting over there with a typewriter and that broker and he types the agreement. And that is such a crap, I tell you. Whenever you go for a property, whether it is a leave-in license for 11 months also, please see to it that you get a proper check. You don't know behind what is left over the property, which then becomes your responsibility or your liability. Because you have taken the property, and most of the time this is a clause which is entered even in leave-in license agreement that the licensee has taken the property on as is very basis. Imagine the impact of that word as is very basis. So it is not that you have just taken the physical possession of the property as it is, but there are so much of onerous which is coming on it, over it, topped up on it, you are taking that also. So it is so important for you to take a legal advice before entering into any transaction, or make a due diligence of yourself, make yourself aware. I mean, we are all educated people, so little bit of awareness has to be with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Vishnamaji.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I would like to invite Mr. Chandra Prakash Jha, DVB Branch Manager, Kotak Mahindra Bank.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am honored to represent Kotak Mahindra Bank today at this forum. Before coming here, since I am a branch manager, I keep meeting clients, and I asked a few कि SME का मतलब आप मुझे बताइए. Official नहीं है, unofficial तरीके से. तो बहुत कॉमन रिस्पॉन्स जो मिला उसमें एक जो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा वो था सिंगल मॉल्ट एवरीडे. इतना स्ट्रेस तो है. दूसरा एक ने लगा शॉकर्स एंड मॉकर्स एंटरप्रेन्योर. योर फाइनेंसेस विल शॉक यू एंड एवरीथिंग एल्स विल मॉक यू एंड यू हैव नो चॉइस. सो आई एम हियर जस्ट टू टेल यू बिकॉज एज अ ब्रांच मैनेजर द बेस्ट आई कैन डू इज आई कैन लिसन टू यू. But everything else depends on the ITR, finances. But I can tell you a lot of things. It is not only the lending which troubles you. It is also how well you are utilizing the technology. If you are not using the technology, then it is a problem because sometimes a lot of small things are not getting marketed every time. You will not see ads. So I am here to just present how you can make things easier. Because see, I understand SMEs in today's date have generated over 25 crore jobs. It is 30% contributor to our GDP, and a lot of owners are still struggling to make bulk payments. They are still struggling कि कोई ये payment कर दे तो मैं किसी को UTR number दूँ, which is one of the easiest 1-minute job and can be assigned to anybody. And owners can definitely drive innovations, which is actually the case. They can drive sales and add more money to the system. While I would like to just take you through what we have to offer. And my introduction, Chandra Prakash Jha. I am a branch manager at Sher Punjab branch. Irrespective of my branch, if anybody has any issues, I can cater it to you across India. Out of India, I have no control. In India, yes, I can reach out to anybody and everybody to help you out. So I am representing Kotak Mahindra Bank as on time. So I would like to tell you that we have solutions across. There are 25 plus sectors, but the most common are retailers, wholesalers, startups, manufacturing, importer, exporter, and service providers. So to tell you, we have right from, see, a lot of people have confusion that banking to be done through PSU bank or private bank. ये फैसिलिटी शायद प्राइवेट बैंक में नहीं होगी, ऐसा नहीं होता है. आरबीआई जो भी ऑफर करने कहते हैं, मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स आर मैंडेटरी फॉर अस टू ऑफर. So for example, unspent CSR account. A lot of companies have monies which are still lying and are to be parked in CSR. They still think इनको है क्या, and in haste they might put this money in a CSR जहाँ पे शायद वो interested ना भी हो, because March is approaching and they have to fulfill it. So we open unspent CSR account. We have startup account. We have dividend account. We have global trade and services account. The accounts which are especially designed to cater your import export and service import export. Most of the times, if you see information IT software services, there are in Mumbai there are a lot of people who do voice over for ads, which cannot be shown as export or import of goods. It has no proof. They do it. They upload it on a file. So there is a special account, we call it Global Trade Services account, because these are services which are being provided and there is no physical courier which is going here and there. So you have, so that account is specially designed. We have RERA, we have liquidation account, share subscription account and new age account. The variant, it varies from right from 10,000 rupees of AQB to 15 lakhs of AQB. What I am interested in talking is more towards collection and payment solutions, because this is where a lot of time of entrepreneurs goes for following up with the bank. We have bulk upload, maker and checker facility. Bulk upload wherein you want to make some payments. At the end of the day, you have list of suppliers whom you don't want to make your beneficiaries because they might be the one time of worker. You can make an Excel sheet, give it to somebody in your office, make him a maker or authorized signatory. He will only have payment uploading capacity. And you will always have phone. So today, in today's newspaper, if you see, there is 73% of MSME entrepreneurs agree that UPI and technology have boosted their businesses. They have shown this business growth. It is in economic times today. So the only reason is you can see bulk upload, maker checker, payment collection dashboard. A lot of time goes for reconciliation. कि ये payment किसका आया है, ये payment हमने किसको दिया था. This all happens. There is a system which is there to support you. And I can tell you, most of these systems are free of cost and associated with the bank account. You just need to go and tell, because in bank the biggest problem is paperwork. See, we are going green, we are going digital, but when audit happens, they ask us, where is the paper? So yes, we are going green along with your signatures on maybe n number of documents. So I agree with you. So these are the things. Apart from that, we have trade and forex solutions depending on your volume. When it grows, yes, we can look at hedging, we can look at derivatives, we can also look at a correction of forex rates to an extent जहाँ पे you will find it more competitive. Further to that, in terms of loans, tax payment, business debit cards and credit cards we offer. In loans, we have working capital, fund based, non-fund based, unsecured business loan, loans against property. Tax payments, Kotak is enabled with all kind of tax payments as on date. And we also provide sweep facility. If you have money lying in your account, it can automatically go into fixed deposit and fetch you 6.5. It was 7%, after rate cut it is 6.5%. With this 6.5% of rate in a current account where you are not getting anything, it is still better. A lot of customers are worried about they get their vendors run to collect the payments from different locations. We also have that check pickup, cash pickup facility which is secured. It has some charges, but if you calculate, it will largely it will be lower than the person running for you and the time being taken. And here you have a fixed turnaround time. So your system also gets adjusted to it. So this is the same thing which I told you, automated collection MIS for easy reconciliation. For example,
Sorry. Just wanted to ask that this payment dashboard you are having,
yes.
Is it connected to accounting systems like Tally or
Yes.
already connected? So
Yes. So that comes into the structured connection. So in that case, let's say I have a person, I made a payment to you, okay,
Right.
and then I will give that voucher to somebody, and then they will make an entry into the Tally. Here, if it is connected, the payment I have made through net banking will automatically get the entry into Tally. This is called Tally integration.
So it's integrated with Tally.
There is a plugin. Depending upon your usage, you can select the level and
Can
accordingly.
it be extended to other softwares as well? Like
Lot of. We have APIs, we have host to host, everything. There are lot many companies which are using APIs and host to host facilities. So we have higher multi-city cash deposit. So as on date, our presence is in 800 cities with 1800 branches. See, the number of branches compared to many other banks are very less. But the vision of Mr. Ashok Vaswani, our CEO, is that we want to be a IT company with a banking license. Because tomorrow, most of you who are sitting here, you ask your next generation to go and wait in the bank, they will never come to us. I see. The waiting time for a father is much higher than his son or daughter. They will not wait. And उसके बाद next generation तो शायद बैंक आना भी नहीं चाहेंगे. So in that case, it is because they are more likely to go towards technology, and that's why it is important for banks to go to the next level. In fact, Kotak Bank is coming up with a new app. It is already launched, Kotak Embark. Currently in Google Store and Play App Store, it is known as Kotak Lite. You go to it, it is much faster and it has an interface like Google Pay, so that because people are more used to it. So we also have CGTMSE wherein you get credit guarantee from government. Yes, of course, the documentations are much because खाली मार्केट करके फायदा नहीं है. मैं आपको बता दूं कि इसके पीछे डॉक्यूमेंटेशंस लगते हैं और टाइम भी लगता है because this goes to for the approval because government is giving that credit guarantee. And then again they are repeating the same thing, maker checker facility with easy bulk payments. If you have a lot of customers, a lot of companies are facing issues with retention of employees. The retention of employees आज के डेट में कोई नहीं कर पा रहा है. but ठीक है, फिर भी there are steps to manage it. For example, having a corporate salary account, so that, because what is the difference between not having a corporate salary account is if you give them payment by a check or normal NEFT, bank system doesn't capture it as a salary, and the algorithm behind it doesn't work to generate any kind of pre-approved home loan offers or any kind of pre-approved credit card offers for them, because for bank it is a general transaction. While if your company has 15 employees, 20 employees, whoever, and they are categorized as and your company is categorized as a corporate to them, that they are working for your company, they will have the offers generated because that is the salary which is coming into them. So that's how it works. So unlimited cash withdrawal at your home branch location. This is the variant of account you choose. This has gone down to 6.5% active money. Every day at 8 o'clock in the evening, all the money lying into your account will go back to fixed deposit. Tomorrow if you issue a check, you need not to give any manual instruction to the bank. It will automatically get closed and credit to your account, or the check will pass. In terms of foreign exchange, yes, we have bank guarantee and letter of credit, digital execution of trade and forex. So on this, we have come up with wherein you can book your rates by yourself. You need not to connect to any of the dealer room or to the forex RM. You will have the rates running in front of your screen. You can book the rates, use that transaction number to do the transaction. Also, earlier we used to send documents, the trade documents to the branches. Now we don't need that. You can scan it, upload it into the system. We have that separate system wherein you can upload it and the transaction will go through. If there is any rejection, it will immediately send it back to you. So you can correct and re-upload. Forward contracts to hedge foreign currency fluctuations. These are the accounts which I told you. These are explanations to them. This is the most used facility because point of sale, that the machine where you swipe your card, and the QR sound box. At everywhere you will find it, that we offer this facility. If you want to know whether the payment has got credited immediately, you have this sound box. The moment you scan, and then it comes up that money has been credited. So this is the facility. The features are contactless card payments are there, instant EMI conversion facilities on those devices, POS, dynamic currency conversion if there is a customer who is using a foreign card. Loan facilities are available against receivables, flexible fees, charges, zero MDR on UPI transactions, which is from government. Zero MDR, there is no charges. Same day settlement, dynamic QR facility. Dynamic QR facility is there is not a single QR. So let's say you must have understood when you scan, the amount automatically pops up that we need this much. That is known as dynamic QR. Daily transaction report. At the end of the day, you will get the daily transaction report, the number of transactions done. It can also give you an overview of the number of sales done for the day. And nil rental and installation charges. That is also basis the account variant. So apart from this, the one I was talking about, the FX Live, I already explained where you can book the rates. Refin, where easy retrieval of documents submitted, paperless transaction and faster turnaround time, and real-time monitoring and audit trail for transactions. Wherein your trade transactions, import or export, whichever, it can go through this. Our lending support, the fund-based working capital cash credit, overdraft, working capital term loan, and pre-shipment and post-shipment finance we do. In terms of non-fund-based, letter of credit, bank guarantee, buyer's credit, we are there, flexible and easy repayment options, trade finance support by experienced team. Yes, we have a separate team to support trade finance because there are many customers who might have started business out of their experiences, but in terms of managing the documentation for trade, there is a person at our end who will tell you what is required. So that it is nothing new for you, and he will give you a samples also, okay, this is how it works. So there is a separate team which manages forex at all levels, retail level to wholesale group also. So same, this is business loan, loan against property. Home banking services is basically enjoy on-call cash pickup, cash delivery, check pickup, and demand delivery services at nominal charges. A lot of you, so I told you our net banking and app is going to get revived. you will see, so it is already there. There are a lot of changes which are happening and upgradations are happening. A lot of this will be available online. We are in a process of decongesting the branches, and the user interface has to be quite friendly. It should not happen that you need to seek help from somebody else ki ye kar dena, because that is also not safe in today's day. So these home banking services will available. If you want cash on your doorstep next day, you put the request today and you will get it next day. Or there will be a stipulated time. If you want the same day, you have to do it before the cutoff. Same, beat check pickup. Enjoy the convenience of regular beat check pickup services at nominal charges. Let's say you have a business wherein you regularly receive checks and you ask somebody to go and deposit it, and every other day you are getting 15, 20, 50 checks collected. You can use these services. There will be a person who will come, who will take the check, he will give you the sheet, stamp and sign, received, and he will give you the credit the very next day. As per the clearing cycle, if there is Saturday, Sundays are off, then the next day. So multi-city free cash deposit, this is also there. If you have multiple, let's say somebody has a restaurant and they have cash collection, but the owner sits in Mumbai. So, and you don't want to trust somebody. Let's say you open something in a place in city A, and you don't want to trust somebody at that moment कि भाई आप 5 लाख रुपए लेके जाके हर दिन बैंक में जमा करिए. You can use this from the bank. We do that. आपने वो गाड़ी देखी होगी जो ATM refill करने के लिए आते हैं. They will come, they will collect, and it is safe for you also. No snatching. Everything is insured. And mobile and internet banking. So there are a lot of services which are there on current account across sector, everything. So looking forward to be a partner. We can connect. My team is there here. That's all. Thank you. Anybody any questions? Please.
About the CGD MSC, what you said, first of all, when it's mentioned 5 crore over there, I
Correct.
understand it is 10 crore.
No. Yes.
So, whatever loan the SME takes, up to 10 crore is guaranteed by government.
Correct.
And okay, we understand the process that after bank's approval, it might go for the government approval,
Correct.
but invariably it gets approved.
It takes time.
Yeah, yes, I suppose like our experiences is not more than a month. Maybe some place it may be little plus or minus. But the thing is, with this, since you come into 100% secured funding, as if you are not funding to government, not the MSME, interest rate can go down substantially. So probably you should be more open to this, that you are funding to the government and MSME will get a lower interest rate. So I suppose the only
So the reason for this having the higher rate than the other one is because we are going as per government. Now yes, there is a security, but there is a point. See, whatever money is being deployed for lending is somebody's money, and bank is paying an interest. While let's say I tell government that you are due to pay me 2 crores, for example, government may take 2 years of time to clear that amount. There is no pressure on government. But in that 2 years, the loss of interest will impact bank's profitability as well as जो rate का coverage रहता है. Because for us, it is something which is dependent on government. And on that part, if yes, we would be more than happy to, because अभी तो rates नीचे गए हैं. Yes, there will be an impact. But in competition with all, so Kotak compares itself with Axis, ICICI and HDFC. So with these comparisons, the rates are actually well placed. With the rates going down and the more and more CGTSM cases are getting cleared, when the confidence gets built up, yes, the rates will go down. Because इससे ज़्यादा secure मुझे नहीं लगता और भी कुछ होगा जो आपने बोला.
that's also one more.
Because even after मतलब it is much secured क्योंकि अगर मेरे पास property है, then I have to enter into a situation where I have to bid and then go through all the processes of auction and all. यहाँ तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. If it goes bad, government is there to take care of it. But I'm sure there must be some calculation which would have worked for them.
Only thing what happened, like normally MSME, assuming they want 10 crore rupees, you will make a very critical assessment. You will say receivables not more than 60 days, 90 days.
Yes.
And even on trades platform, most of the bankers do not advise or rather,
We are there on that.
you're not spoken about the cheapest financing by which any MSME can avail. You've not mentioned in your presentation.
Which one?
This threads, yeah. So what happened, like, over there, if bankers really come into touch with MSME, their costing will come down. And if they are, like, you become a partner,
Correct.
and you gain more than customers. So
Agreed.
probably, I think bankers can change their thought process in this line.
Yes, you are you are right. But I can tell you the one thing which even customer tell us is कि अगर मुझे पैसा रखना होगा तो मैं कोटक में रखूंगा, लेकिन लोन लेने से पहले मैं 2 बार सोचूंगा. उसका कारण है आप इतने कंजर्वेटिव हो कि और ये मे बी इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ Kotak's DNA. But yes, we are opening because a lot of business loss happens when we are not able to fund. We know that the customer is right. Something must have got goofed up into the papers, and we can clearly see there is a potential of repaying capacity है. तो उस चीज में ओपन हो रहा है. I understand what you're saying, but I would like to tell you that I don't have the capacity to make any changes there here only. So, but if yes, you can anytime take it up with the higher ups. I can share the email ID. No, you can share this idea. I'm sure. If we be the early birds, मेरा ही फायदा है.
We have been doing through other bankers, and I
Must be.
I won't name the bank, but even cooperative banks are so quick.
Cooperative banks.
Don't have limit is comparatively lower.
Correct.
So
कंपैरिजन नहीं कर सकते सर कोऑपरेटिव बैंक से. मैं आई लॉस्ट अ लॉट ऑफ डील टू कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स बिकॉज वहाँ पे वो फ्रेमवर्क मैं मैच नहीं करवा पाऊँ. Anybody else? Any questions, please?
Actually, I run a dry cleaning business and I have multiple outlets, you know. So you have mentioned the collection of cash.
जी.
So you said only for the home branch, or it can be done for any of the branches? So if I have the retail outlets, of course, at 10 locations.
Correct.
So can it be done on a?
So I will tell you in brief how does it work. Let's say you have 10 locations. You can tell me कि my majority of the collection happens by Friday, and you want it at Friday 4 o'clock. So if these 10 outlets are in Mumbai, then we can arrange at different slots. Let's say we will start at 2 o'clock from, let's say, Bandra, and then we'll go till here, however you want. So accordingly time slots will be given and cash collection will be done or check collection will be done. Okay. If you want to do it nationwide, if it is only Bombay, then this happens this way only. You will give us a slot of time, and then accordingly distance, travel and all. तो अगर आपको 2 बजे बोला तो 2, 10, 2, 15 तक they will come to you.
So, but if it is to be done every 2 days, then also it can.
Every day also. Every day also. But then there is a cost associated with it because we get it done by a vendor. The bank doesn't do directly. The best part about it is you will get an MIS कि आपके यहाँ से इतना कलेक्ट हुआ, यहाँ से इतना कलेक्ट हुआ, यहाँ से इतना कलेक्ट हुआ, and they will give you a tentative time इतना इस तारीख को आपके अकाउंट में पैसा आ जाएगा. तो you are very sure कि इतना कलेक्शन है, आपके पास वो शीट है कि 10 शाम को आपके मेल पे आ गया कि इतना कलेक्शन है, and you know इस तारीख को मेरे अकाउंट में पैसा आने वाला है. So that is something you can do. You are not dependent. जी.
This sweep out facility you mentioned, 6.5% interest rate.
Yes.
So that's for how many days? Suppose I have surplus funds.
180.
Minimum 180 days.
So इसका कोई प्री क्लोजर चार्ज नहीं है. मिनिमम 7 डेज का एफडी होता है, तभी एफडी काउंट होता है, वरना काउंट भी नहीं होता है. तो 7 डेज टू 180 का टेन्योर पे आपकी एफडीज बनेगी. 5,000 के ब्लॉक्स में बनती है. एज अ कस्टमर आप नहीं देख पाएंगे क्योंकि 5,000 के ब्लॉक के हिसाब से तो आपका ऐप पूरा फुल हो जाएगा. बट एज अ बैंकर मेरे सिस्टम में 5,000 का ब्लॉक्स दिखेगा. और ये ऐसा रहता है, इट्स अ लीफो, लास्ट इन फर्स्ट नोट, बिकॉज जो पहले इन हुई है उसका इंटरेस्ट एक्यूमुलेशन ज्यादा हो चुका होगा. तो जो आज बनी और आपने कल निकाला, तो आज वाली एफडी को तोड़ने में ज्यादा सेंस है बिकॉज उसमें इंटरेस्ट एक्यूमुलेशन नहीं हुआ है. तो दिस वर्क्स दिस वे.
So it's suppose extra money is swept out for 30 days or 80 days, whatever.
Okay.
The interest rate is 6.5% per annum.
No, then for 30 days or 45 days.
Okay. So
This is for those customers. See, it leaves 3 to 4 lakh, 3 lakh rupees. I think in some variant it leaves 5 lakh rupees. But there are a lot of current account customers whose monies are lying there as an average because उनको लगता है कि मुझे 50 लाख रुपए सुबह लगेगा, बट शाम तक कुछ कलेक्शन भी आ जाता है. तो एट एन एवरेज अगर किसी का 10-12 लाख रुपए एनी टाइम पड़ा हुआ है, उसके लिए ये फैसिलिटी अच्छा है बिकॉज इट विल गिव समथिंग बैक.
Yeah, I have a Kotak bank account actually.
Yes.
So I started a trading account with a foreign company.
Okay.
I passed some amount which was converted into dollars, and it went immediately within a minute.
Okay.
Now when I want to withdraw some amount, they have written to me it will take 9 to 15 days. So why is such? Like, you know, their withdrawals are very fast because it is depositing in their account. Whereas
So you did a deposit into foreign trading account.
yeah, like
May I know the platform name?
Foxnet.org. They told me that it is AI based and it will give you more profit and all that thing.
So it is from Kotak.
No, my account is in Kotak.
Your savings account is in Kotak,
Yeah.
and you are putting it into some
Yeah.
trading platform.
I put 21,000 rupees, that is in Indian rupees.
Okay.
It got converted into dollars and went to his account.
Okay.
Very easy, within 5 minutes.
Okay.
Now when I asked for the withdrawal, like I asked for 15,000 rupees, that is some $170.
Okay.
So they are saying it will take 9 to 15 banking days to process.
Correct.
So why is it so? Like for taking money, they are taking easily.
Correct.
For
So
giving
giving money is easy.
Yeah, at 9:15.
Receiving money is tough everywhere.
Yeah.
But I will tell you. Now see, we as a banker, my everything starts from the transaction time. अभी जिसके पास आपने पैसा दिया है, if they return it back to me, so वो मुझे convert करके देंगे, ठीक है? They will have their own 3 days, 4 days time of redemption, and then they will convert it, and then they will give it to me. मेरे पास कोई सेंस नहीं बनता है पैसा रोकने का, क्योंकि मेरी कमाई तभी है जब आपके अकाउंट में क्रेडिट होगा. जब तक आपके अकाउंट में पैसा नहीं आया, मैं कमा ही नहीं रहा हूँ. तो सारा प्रॉब्लम उधर है. तो इसका जो डिपेंडेंसी है ना, वो मुझे सामने वाले पे होगा, क्योंकि मैं तो बड़े चेक्स को अर्ली क्लियरिंग कराता हूँ कि मेरे अकाउंट में दिखे तो मेरा फायदा हो. और जब तक चेक में या किसी और के पास पड़ा है, तब तक वो मेरे फायदे का है नहीं. यू कैन चेक, बट स्टिल इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेरी, यू कैन पर्सनली शेयर योर अकाउंट एंड क्वेरी विद Rahul. Rahul is there and other people from my team.
Sure. Thanks.
Thank you. I think all questions are over. Anybody else?
One question, do you attend to solar?
Solar, yes. Sustainability के अंदर funding हम
Sustainability,
देते हैं,
yeah.
जी.
Okay.
But that's a separate team.
Yeah.
That we can also connect.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. John, for your wonderful presentation. Now I would like to invite Mr. Rakesh Rani, CEO of Business Revival India LLP, and his topic is Business Mantra.
Good afternoon everyone, and thank you SME Chambers for getting this opportunity. So basically we are the business advisory firm, but basically our strategy is more into a revival, I would say a loss making or low profit company. So we work on the business model. We are the partnership firms, we are partners of CA, we are the engineers, we are the lawyers on the partnership firm, and we work on the total business model from all angles. Along with that, we work upon the various finance marketing aspects, and where we have the expert connects, and we utilize their facilities when we are reviving it. So this is my company, we are Business Revival India, and when I'm saying bringing life to the business, I'm talking about the value. Because we don't see the profit of the company, we see the value of the company. Because end of the day, value what matters. Profit people doesn't see but see the value, what value you're creating over the period of time. That investors look into, that bankers looks into. Profit is a part and parcel, it's not the main necessity. So what I'm talking about today, 5 mantras of business success. I've been in industry for 26 years. I worked with the Philips and the various other MNCs or corporates, and I have found out some issues which every company, whether it's small, big or large corporate, face. So I'm going to talk about those 5 mantras over here that will at least solve some problems or business problems that will help you to make your business more successful. Then I'll be talking about how to select your business coach. But that is a bigger problem actually. People select a business coach, but they don't select the right business coach. The reason being, they need to identify some qualities of the business coach which are support to their business. So I'll talk about that 4 to 5 points only. And thirdly, about my company, a little bit about the company, how we functions, what service we provide. So this is the first point I have seen throughout my career, that your employee is a reflection of a personality. I have seen that many times. The way employee functions is exactly the impressions of your entrepreneur. अभी recently एक case मैंने just last week ही मेरे client के साथ discuss कर रहा था. He got some order from the metro. उनका एक WhatsApp group है कंपनी का जहाँ पे उन लोग leads डालते हैं. तो वहाँ पे उन्होंने leads डाली थी जिसके पास lead आई थी कंपनी में. तो जो उनका बॉस entrepreneur है, he has seen that lead, he has gone through this total order and everything, and he found that कि worth नहीं है. So he hasn't उसने कोई report नहीं, मतलब WhatsApp पे कुछ message डाला नहीं. Then on this order lead came on Friday. On Monday, the metro called him. We have sent some leads to you, and what is your views? So he said, no, that is not feasible. We won't go. और उसी 1 घंटे बाद उनके एम्प्लॉय का फोन आता है, सर वी गॉट अ ऑर्डर एंड वी हैव फाइनलाइज्ड द कोटेशन, वी आर सेंड इट टू मेट्रो एंड दैट इज बीन रिसीव्ड। इस पे गलती क्या हुई है? एंटरप्रेन्योर ने व्हाट्सएप में मतलब कम्युनिकेट नहीं किया, वो लीड नहीं लेना चाहता है, और एम्प्लॉय ने भी कम्युनिकेट नहीं किया कि लीड पे हम काम कर रहे हैं। तो एंटरप्रेन्योर का ये इशू था कि ही कम्युनिकेट नहीं करता है, और वही प्रॉब्लम एम्प्लॉय भी कर रहे थे कि दे वर नॉट कम्युनिकेट, काम अच्छे कर रहे हैं, सब कुछ अच्छा कर रहे हैं, कम्युनिकेट नहीं कर रहे। दूसरा एक सीन जो दूसरा एक केस मैंने देखा था जहाँ पे एंटरप्रेन्योर वाज वेरी एग्रेसिव एंड वेरी गो गेटर काइंड ऑफ पर्सन, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन पे कुछ भी ध्यान नहीं देता था। एंड सेम रिफ्लेक्शंस हैपेंस ऑन द टीम आल्सो। टीम भी एक है, मुझे ऑर्डर लाना है, डॉक्यूमेंट्स कैसे भी हो, कैसे भी कुछ भी करो लेके आओ, बट दे यूज्ड टू पे द प्राइस इन कंप्लायंसेस। सो आप देखोगे आपके आसपास के जो भी बिजनेस देखोगे वहां पे आपको एंटरप्रेन्योर की पर्सनैलिटी उनके एम्प्लॉय में दिखाई देगी। पूरी तरह से नहीं, बट थोड़ा बहुत इफेक्ट तो आता ही है। तो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को अपने खुद पे काम करना होता है बिफोर यू वर्क ऑन दिस कंपनी। This is the second thing, second problem I've seen in my various cases. I've written drivers versus helper, इसलिए because एक ट्रक के साथ बहुत इस एग्जाम्पल से अच्छी तरह से क्लैरिफाई हो पाएगा। जब हम ड्राइवर्स बोलते हैं तो ड्राइवर्स इज सेल्स मार्केटिंग, और हम लोग हेल्पर्स कहते हैं तो इट्स अ बैक एंड ऑपरेशंस अकाउंट्स, उस तरह की टीम जिनका काम आए हुए काम को एग्जीक्यूट करना होता है। तो यहाँ पे कैसे होता है, कई एंटरप्राइजेस क्या करते हैं, इनकी सैलरी पैकेज इस तरह से फ्रेम करते हैं कि दोनों को सेम सैलरी देते हैं, बट आपको सैलरी पैकेज ऐसे फ्रेम करना है, अगर आप जस्ट फॉर एग्जांपल सेल्स मार्केटिंग को आप एक फिक्स सैलरी देते हो, वो आपको लीड्स पे काम नहीं करेगा, वो आराम से रहेगा, उसका एक सर्टेन टारगेट दिया अचीव करेगा, चुप बैठ जाएगा। बट उसको अगर इंसेंटिव लिंक कर दोगे, उसके लीड के साथ लिंक कर दोगे, ही विल परफॉर्म, वो आपको भागेगा, तो ही इज अ ड्राइवर फॉर द कंपनी। तो आपको उसको फिक्स पोर्शन कम रखना होगा, आपको वेरिएबल पोर्शन बड़ा रखना पड़ेगा, देन ओनली इट विल, या कंपनी भागेगी। बहुत एंटरप्रेन्योर का रहता है, अरे मैं काम बहुत करता हूँ, मुझे ही करना पड़ता है, ऑर्डर कोई क्लोज नहीं कर रहा है। रीजन बीइंग, उनको पता है कि मैं 10 ऑर्डर में 12 लो, मुझे 50 रुपए ही मिलने वाले हैं। सो एक रीजन होता है। और ऑपरेशन टीम्स को आपको उनके परफॉर्म पे फिक्स सैलरी देना, बिकॉज दे वांट, ऑपरेशन जो टीम होती है, अकाउंट्स होती है, उनको क्वालिटी पे काम करना है। they have to go through documents, they have to ensure that each and every order is closed properly, taking care of all compliances. वहां पे आप इंसेंटिव बेस डाल दोगे, कंप्लायंस में अच्छा खासा पैसा पे कर दोगे। तो ये डिफरेंशिएशन आपको आना चाहिए, वो सैलरी पैकेज तो आपको आपके एचआर पे काम करना है। ये हर किसी का प्रॉब्लम है, हर एमएससी में मैंने प्रॉब्लम देखा हुआ है कि मैं पुराना एम्प्लॉय है, मैं इसको ये पैकेज देता हूँ, उसको ये करता हूँ, बट वो कभी भी अपने रेवेन्यू के साथ, उनके परफॉर्मेंस, उनकी कैपेबिलिटी के साथ लिंक नहीं करते हैं और यहीं पे अटक जाते हैं। I have written this about the same only. Driver should have the higher variable portions, whereas helper compensation should be predominantly higher fixed salary. This is second. ये मेरा एक्सपीरियंस से आया है, कहीं बुक्स में नहीं मिलेगा। आपको आपके अकाउंट रिसीवेबल का हर 2 साल में चेंज करना है। मैं इसलिए कहता हूँ कि ये मैंने माय लास्ट असाइनमेंट वाज फिलिप्स, वहाँ पे एक अकाउंट रिसीवेबल पर्सन था, और हम भी जब भी बजट प्लान करते थे तो उसका वो बजट प्लान करने पर उसको हम लोग टारगेट देते थे, उसका वो 70% ही लाता था। हम 3-4 मीटिंग करते थे, बैठते थे, सर ये भी आ जाएगा, ये भी आ जाएगा, ये भी आ जाएगा, सर दिस इज श्योर यू विल गेट दिस पेमेंट एनी हाउ, and based on that we prepare the total budgets targets for the month, and end of the month we see that he is getting only 70%. We don't understand why. So one day हमने क्या किया, हमने पर्सन को चेंज किया, कहा अभी तो अकाउंट्स में मत देख, कुछ और देख। We got another person in that place, and the another person was able to get 90% result. The reason being mental block, बस 70% पे अटका था। उसके लिए मैं ये चल रहा था भाई कुछ भी करूँ 70% ही आने वाला है, आप उसको 70% भी दोगे तो उसका वो 70% लेके आएगा। We have done that. एक बार हमने उसको 50 लाख के लिए टारगेट दिया था 1 महीने का, तो हमने सोचा इस पर 35 लाख थे, उसको 50 बताते ही नहीं है, उसने 35 का 70 लेके आया। एंड ये एश्योर्ड है, इन मीटिंग है एश्योर्ड 35 लाख में लेके आऊंगा सर, आप बोलो कुछ भी करके, इसलिए 35 दिया, वो 70% लाके चुप बैठ गया। सो मेंटल ब्लॉक रहता है। और दूसरा प्रॉब्लम, दूसरी पॉजिटिव साइड ये होती है कि जो नया बंदा आएगा he will think in a different way, वो कुछ ना कुछ नई आइडियाज लेके आएगा। क्योंकि अकाउंट रिसीवेबल में दो चीजें होती है, एक तो अकाउंट रिसीवेबल का आपके क्लाइंट के साथ एक कुछ कनेक्ट बन गया तो उसको फेवर देना चालू करेगा, तो वो लिंक भी टूट जाएगी अगर आप बंदा चेंज करते हो, नया बंदा नए से स्टार्ट करेगा। और इस चीज को आप यूटिलाइज करते हो बिजनेस के लिए, गुड बॉय बैड बॉय की तरह से। अगर कोई पेमेंट नहीं कर रहा है तो न्यू पर्सन कैन एक्ट स्ट्रिक्ट, आप उस अदर साइड पे आप उसको मैनेज कर सकते हो। अगर पुराना ही बंदा रहेगा वो थोड़ा मैनेज करने की कोशिश करेगा। ये सबको पता है बट इम्प्लीमेंट कोई नहीं करता। हमें सबको पता है कि अपने कैश फ्लो पे ध्यान देना है, बट जब भी कुछ बातें आती है तो हम पहले रेवेन्यू बोलते हैं, रेवेन्यू की बातें करते हैं, फिर प्रॉफिट की, फिर कैश फ्लो की। मैं मतलब जितना मैंने ऑब्जर्व किया हुआ है, कोई भी टोटल कैश फ्लो कभी भी डिस्कस नहीं करता। अपने इस साल में कितना कैश फ्लो कलेक्ट किया, नोबडी टॉक्स। कितना रेवेन्यू किया, सबको पता है, टॉप लाइन क्या है, बॉटम लाइन क्या है, बट एंड ऑफ द डे आप कैश फ्लो में अटक जाते हो, विच इज द सोल ऑफ योर बिजनेस। हर कोई प्लानिंग जो करता है वो सिर्फ रेवेन्यू की तरफ से करता है, कैश फ्लो की तरफ नहीं देखते। हमारी सोच भी ऐसी ही जाती है, एक्चुअली सोच ऐसी जानी चाहिए। कितना कैश फ्लो कलेक्ट हुआ, प्रॉफिट कितना हुआ, रेवेन्यू कितना, रेवेन्यू हैज टू बी लास्ट, क्योंकि आपका बिजनेस कैश फ्लो से चलने वाला है, रेवेन्यू से नहीं। देयर में भी एक्सेप्शन फॉर स्टार्टअप्स, बट उसमें भी अल्टीमेटली कैश फ्लो ही रोल प्ले करता है। ये एक बहुत बड़ा इश्यू मैंने देखा हुआ है एमएसएमई में। दे कभी भी गोल सेट नहीं करते। आप किसी भी एमएसएमई छोटा हो बड़ा हो, मोर देन 100 करोड़ रहेगा तो उनके पास कुछ ना कुछ बजट्स रहते हैं या फिर प्रोजेक्शंस रहते हैं। बट छोटे कंपनी के पास आप उनको पूछोगे कि व्हाट इज योर बजट फॉर द नेक्स्ट ईयर, दे विल से दैट 5 करोड़ प्लान किया हुआ है, 10 करोड़ प्लान किया हुआ है। देन आस्क द सेकंड क्वेश्चंस, हाउ यू ड्रिल डाउन, हैव यू चेक आपके पास आप उतने क्लाइंट्स या उतनी लीड्स है जो आपको 10 करोड़ लेके आएगा। क्योंकि आपको गोल सेट करके मतलब नहीं है, उस गोल को ड्रिल डाउन करना है मंथ लेवल पे, उसको डेली लेवल पे, और उसको ट्रैक करना है। देन यू हैव टू कीप ऑन चेकिंग दोस गोल एवरी मंथ, जो एमएसएमई नहीं करती है। इधर वो सोचते हैं कि अरे छोटा बिजनेस है, इसमें क्या, मुझे पता है सब कुछ। बट जब पेपर पे लिखते हो आपको पता चलता है 10 करोड़ प्लान किया था, 4 करोड़ या 5 करोड़ भी करना मुश्किल हो जाता है। आज सुबह ही मैं एक मीटिंग कर रहा था, जिस फर्स्ट न्यू क्लाइंट, his business is around 50 crore and he is planning for around, he said कि next year में next साल की 60 करोड़ प्लान कर रहा हूँ, हो जाएगा। मैं बोला आप मुझे ड्रिल डाउन बता दो, ड्रिल डाउन नहीं था। बोलता कि मुझे मालूम है, मालूम है तो ठीक है, बट आप मुझे क्लाइंट लिस्ट दो, बता दो कम से कम 60 करोड़ कैसे अचीव करोगे। यू शुड एटलीस्ट 60 to 75% आपके पास आपका कंफर्ट होना चाहिए कि हाँ ये तो बिजनेस आने वाला है। देन दैट बजट मेक अ सेंस। दूसरा क्या होता है, गोल्स जो आप एक बार डिफाइन करते हो उसको ड्रिल डाउन करते हो ना, वो आपको जीपीएस की तरह काम करता है। आप गलत डिसीजन लोगे तो आपको रोक देगा, क्योंकि ये गलत हो रहा है, आपका टारगेट सही नहीं हो रहा है। आप अगर गलत सेक्टर में भी जा रहे हो तो आपको बजट रोक देगा, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं कैश फ्लो इम्पैक्ट करेगा। क्योंकि आप जब बजट देखते हो आप कैश फ्लो को भी रिव्यू करते रहते हो दिमाग में। दूसरा बात होता है कि एमएसएमई का एक बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है प्रायोरिटीज। मुझे ग्रो करना है, मैं हर जगह जा रहा हूँ, राइट लेफ्ट सीधा राइट बैक, उससे प्रोग्रेस नहीं होता है। उससे आपका बिजनेस बढ़ेगा, लेकिन बड़ा विजन बनाना होगा। यू हैव टू प्लान अ विजन कि मुझे दिल्ली जाना है, तो दिल्ली की तरफ फोकस करके काम करो। कि कई बार मैंने देखा हुआ है कि एंटरप्रेन्योर्स क्या करते हैं, उनका एक बिजनेस अच्छी तरह से चल रहा है, they will suddenly think that चलो मैं आयरन डोर में हूँ, I'll go to एग्रो बिजनेस, वहाँ पे अटक मार खा जाते हैं। रीजन भी उनकी एक्सपर्टाइज वहाँ पे नहीं डेवलप हुई। आप एक ही सेक्टर में एक ही बिजनेस में रहोगे तो आपकी एक्सपर्टाइज डेवलप होती है। बिजनेस इज नॉट ऑफ इंटेलिजेंस, बिजनेस इज ऑफ डिसिप्लिन, एक्सपीरियंस एंड विजन। हम कई बार बिजनेस को इंटेलिजेंस से मैच करते हैं। अदरवाइज मैंने जितना आई मे बी रॉन्ग, आई मे बी गलत हो सकता तो बता दीजिएगा, बट मैंने कभी भी टॉपर्स को बिजनेस करते हुए इतना देखा नहीं है। तो सब टॉपर्स बिजनेस करते हैं, क्योंकि एक्सपीरियंस, डिसिप्लिन, डेडिकेशन, दैट इज अ बिजनेस। और फिर बजटिंग तो मैंने कहा, आपका रोड मैप है, आपका एक विजन रहेगी, आपको पता चलेगा जैसे जैसे आप हर महीने हर वीक बजट को ड्रिल डाउन करके देखते रहोगे, आपको क्लैरिटी आएगी कि मेरा इस साल का फाइनल गोल कितना अचीव होगा, मैं क्या प्लान कर सकता हूँ, कहाँ पे एक्सपांड कर सकता हूँ। सिर्फ आप नंबर्स लेके दिमाग में चलोगे मुझे 10 करोड़ करना है और भागते रहोगे तो आपके एफर्ट्स वेस्ट होंगे। एक चीज है जो बोली तो बहुत जाती है बट कभी इफेक्ट नहीं आता। इफेक्ट इसलिए बोलता हूँ कि बहुत सब मेडिटेशन करो, ये करो, वो करो, मैं उस बात का नहीं हूँ। मेरा सिंपल फंडा है, हर दिन हर सेकंड आपका गोल आपके दिमाग में चलता रहना चाहिए। आपका गोल वो होना चाहिए जो आपको 2 बजे जाके बोले राकेश अब सोए नहीं हो, मुझे ये गोल करना है। आप जब तक उस तरह से, तो आप जो मतलब आई एम नॉट क्रिटिसाइजिंग एनी मेथड कि 555 वो सब, दैट मे बी वर्किंग, पर आपका दिमाग ही इतना बड़ा ये सोर्स है और एक बड़ा क्या कहते हैं कंट्रोलिंग पावर है, वो आपको चलाएगा, दौड़ाएगा, लेकिन आप उसको कंटिन्यूस बोलते रहो बॉस मुझे ये चाहिए, मुझे ये चाहिए। मतलब ये मेरा एक्सपीरियंस है, मैंने भी देखा हुआ है, जब आप दिमाग को बोलते रहते हो ना, अपॉर्चुनिटी क्रिएट होती है, आपको कहीं पे भागने की जरूरत नहीं होती है। इट हैपेंस एंड इट्स अ एक्सपीरियंस में बोल रहा हूँ। तो मैनिफेस्टेशन करना है तो ऐसे करो कि दिमाग में बैठा दो। आप जब 1 अप्रैल को बोलते हो कि मुझे इस साल नेक्स्ट मार्च तक 20 करोड़ चाहिए और 20 करोड़ दिमाग बिठा दो, आपका दिमाग चलना चलेगा 20 करोड़ कैसे आएंगे, मैं ये करूँगा, मैं वो करूँगा, इसको हायर करना है, ऑटोमेटिकली आपकी थिंकिंग कैपेबिलिटी बढ़ती जाएगी और आप कुछ गलत मूव्स नहीं होते क्योंकि आपका दिमाग ही बैक एंड में कंटिन्यूस आपको हैमर करता रहता है। ये 7 चीज जो मैंने देखा है बिजनेस कोच और मेंटर सिलेक्ट करते वक्त, इसमें कई बार प्रॉब्लम क्या होती है मालूम है, जो मैंने ऑब्जर्व किया हुआ है, लोग अपनी ही फील्ड के अपने ही एक्सपीरियंस वाले बंदे को हायर करते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ कंफर्ट। यू आर नॉट हायरिंग बिजनेस कोच फॉर योर कंफर्ट, दैट इज द फर्स्ट थिंग। आप उनको हायर कर रहे हो तो आपको बता दें आप कहाँ गलत हो, कहाँ सही हो और कहाँ पे आपको क्या डिसीजन लेना है। जो बंदा आपके कंफर्ट में, जो आपसे अच्छी तरह से बात कर रहा है, वो आपको कभी अच्छा एडवाइस नहीं दे पाएगा। दूसरी बात, आप अपने ही फील्ड्स के बंदे को लेके आओगे तो उसका भी थिंकिंग वहीं पे रहेगा। सो बेटर यू टेक अ पर्सन फ्रॉम द फील्ड हु इज टोटली डिफरेंट फ्रॉम। जैसे एग्जांपल, रिटेल में कोई है तो आप रिटेल से किसी बिजनेस कोच को लेके आओगे तो वो आप रिटेल वाला थिंकिंग लेके आएगा, बट सपोज वो कैपिटल गुड्स वाले को लेके आओगे, ही विल गेट सम न्यू आइडिया, समथिंग न्यू, और एक्सपीरियंस आपको मिलेगा बिकॉज यू आर एडिंग द एक्सपीरियंस विद द बिजनेस कोच, तब जाके आपका ग्रोथ हो पाएगा। तो वो एक पॉइंट रहता है। दूसरी, अलाइनमेंट होनी चाहिए। बिजनेस को आपका ट्यूनिंग बहुत अच्छा होना चाहिए, आपकी और उनकी थिंकिंग मैच होनी चाहिए। जस्ट बिकॉज यू आर पेइंग सम मनी एंड आपको कुछ भी एडवाइस दे रहा है, चल रहा है, दैट इज डिफरेंट स्टोरी, बट आपकी अलाइनमेंट, थिंकिंग अलाइनमेंट अलग एक होनी चाहिए। जैसा आप सोच रहे हो उसको पता होना चाहिए। जैसे मतलब इट मे नॉट बी करेक्ट एग्जाम्पल बट दिस इज आई थिंक परफेक्ट एग्जाम्पल। जैसे आपकी और आपकी वाइफ की थिंकिंग होती है, कई बार हम बातें नहीं करते, हम जस्ट देख के समझ जाते हैं कि इनके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है और हमें पता चलता है उनके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है। बिजनेस कोच का और आपका थिंकिंग उस तरह से मिलना चाहिए कि आपको आपके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है उसको पता होना चाहिए, सो दैट ही कैन गिव राइट एडवाइस टू यू। देन बिजनेस कोच जो रहेगा उसका नेटवर्किंग होना चाहिए, उसके पास एटलीस्ट कनेक्ट होने चाहिए कि अगर आपके बिजनेस में कोई भी प्रॉब्लम आए, फाइनेंस आए, मार्केटिंग आए या फिर लीगल प्रॉब्लम आए, ही शुड बी एबल टू गेट राइट पर्सन ऑन योर बोर्ड और आपके प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए। बिकॉज बिजनेस कोच कैन नॉट हैव ऑल कैपेबिलिटीज, ही इज लाइक अ जनरल प्रैक्टिशनर, आई कॉल दैट वे। इफ यू कॉल मी, आई एम अ जनरल प्रैक्टिशनर, आई कैन आइडेंटिफाई द प्रॉब्लम। मैं बोल सकता हूँ कैंसर यहाँ पे हुआ है, लेकिन कैंसर पे केमोथेरेपी तो मुझे एक्सपोर्ट लाके ही करना पड़ेगा। तो बिजनेस को वैसे होना चाहिए जिसका नेटवर्क अच्छा रहेगा। और जो केमिस्ट्री मैंने बात की, दैट इज वेरी नेसेसरी, उसके बिना तो मतलब नहीं रहेगा। और दूसरा एक पॉइंट जो मैंने देखा हुआ है, यहाँ पे लिखा नहीं है मैंने, आपको आपके बिजनेस कोच के क्रिटिसिज्म्स स्माइल करके लेने पड़ेंगे। ईगो, मुझे बुरा लगता है, ये अच्छा नहीं बोला, वो आप लेके चलोगे तो बिजनेस कोच आपको सही एडवाइस नहीं दे पाएगा। दैट इज वेरी नेसेसरी, क्योंकि आपको अगर बेसिकली एक कृष्ण और अर्जुन जैसा आपका बिहेवियर होना चाहिए। ही इज लाइक कृष्ण, आई एम नॉट बिजनेस कोच लेवल का नहीं है, क्योंकि कृष्ण, भगवान कृष्ण इज अलग डिफरेंट, बट जैसे वो सरेंडर होकर सुनते हैं और लेकिन और अर्जुन से एक्ट कर रहा था तो वो जीत पाए। आपको कोच को सुनकर आपका दिमाग लगाना है, बिजनेस कोच उसमें बिजनेस कोच का दिमाग लेके नहीं चलना है, आपको उनकी सोच के उनका आपका दिमाग लगाना है एंड बिजनेस को रन करना है। ही विल एक्ट एज ए को पायलट, उसको ड्राइवर में बनाओ, उसको को पायलट रहने दो। This is the five points talked about. It is our company. So we are Business Revival India. We are a strategic business advisory firm focused on reviving, stabilizing, scaling MSME and mid-sized corporate. Our major expertise into, as I said to you, stress businesses. We work on the business model stress businesses, and then as per the reasons or requirement, we get our connects or we get our professionals on along with us and we execute it. अगर मैं हमारा काम बोलूँ तो हम एक लाइक कॉन्ट्रैक्टर जैसे हैं। आपने कहा ताजमहल बांधना है, तो ताजमहल बांधने के लिए जो जो सामान लगेगा विल गेट इट ऑन बोर्ड, आपको ताजमहल मिलेगा। दैट इज आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। एज आई सेड, आई पार्टनरशिप फर्म्स, आई एम अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, आई एम MBA, आई एम लीगल, आई एम ऑल्सो लॉयर, आई एम ऑल्सो डन द MS ट्रेड इन इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड, जहाँ पे आई हैव secured a 4th rank. I was 26 years in the industry. My last assignment was Philips. Prior to that, I was swiper. Then I was work as intern also in Dubai and USA. So that's the reason I have the gamut of every business. Work with telecom, oil and gas, retail, manufacturing, services, and throughout my career, I work with you and MD. That's the reason I can understand the psyche very well. I can understand the strategic planning, कैसे कहाँ गड़बड़ होती है, कैसे होती है. Because career I started 50 crore, but last the company I left was 2000 crores. So that's the reason हर स्टेज पे आपके MD की, आपके CEO की, आपकी टीम की साइकी बदलनी चाहिए। कई बार कैसे होता है 50 करोड़ की सोच लेके 500 करोड़ बनाने जाते हैं, जो कभी नहीं होता, क्योंकि उस टाइम थिंकिंग अलग होती है, यहाँ पे स्ट्रेटेजी अलग होती है। Our vision is to make Indian business self-reliant, scalable, and process-driven by implementing robust systems and financial activity. Our unique difference is that we are revival experts, as I said to you. We are one process-driven. हम लोग process पे ज़्यादा focus करते हैं because that is a key. Process के बिना काम नहीं होता. We go more deep because कम से कम हम लोग 4 से 5 सिटिंग करते हैं, एक मिड सिटिंग 4 घंटे की होती है, तब जाके when we understand the psyche of the person, then we proceed further. And what we do, we एक बार 4 सिटिंग होने के बाद we give that road map because these problems are there, these are the issue we are working upon, and you have to agree with this or you have to disagree, or if you have questions you have to come up with it, then only we will be able to guide you properly. Because पहले मीटिंग में कभी कंफर्ट नहीं आता, आपको पहले कंफर्टेबल करना पड़ता है क्लाइंट को। मेनी टाइम्स आपके रेफरेंस में क्लाइंट नहीं आते आपको, क्योंकि जो स्ट्रेस में रहेगा वो अपने रेफरेंस के पास नहीं जाएगा, बिकॉज ही ऑलवेज फील दैट कि वो कैसे देखेगा, क्या बोलेगा। ओके, आई एम सॉरी। Customized solutions, CFO-led survey advisory, we do that, and our result the executions. I'm sorry I taken more time, but thank you very much and patiently listening to me. If you have any questions, you can ask me in our tea time. Thank you.
Sir, you spoke about goal setting. If you see many self-help books also, they talk about goal setting. But a salesperson like who goes on the field, he has a goal but doesn't achieve. Over a period of time, it starts to affect his personality and psyche. But that nobody talks about. Every second month, then the company comes back to the goal. Okay, ये करना है. क्या हुआ, क्यों नहीं हुआ, वो कोई बात नहीं करता है. And that starts affecting his psyche. So, what do you have to say about this part, like?
तो यहाँ पे आपने सॉल्यूशन दे दिया मुझे। आप अगर फेल हो रहे हो, आपको एनालिसिस नहीं कर रहे हो, उसको रीड नहीं कर रहे हो और उसका स्ट्रेस ले रहे हो, तो मतलब नहीं है ना। ऐसा भी हो सकता है शायद आपका प्रोडक्ट सही नहीं हो, ऐसा भी हो सकता है आप रॉन्ग मार्केट में बैठे हो, ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि शायद आप जिस बंदे को देखो कैपेबल ही ना हो। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपकी 3 चीजें होनी चाहिए सेल्स की बात करते हो। एक तो प्रोडक्ट राइट होना चाहिए, सेल्स बंदा कैपेबल होना चाहिए, और जहां पे वो पिच कर रहे हो मार्केट सही होना चाहिए। आप जो भी प्रोडक्ट लेके रॉन्ग मार्केट में पिच कर रहे हो, कितना भी गोल दे दो, नहीं हो पाएगा, तो आपको वो चीज करनी है। सोल्यूशन अपने पास ही होते हैं। मैंने जो देखा है, आप देखो एज अ बिजनेस कोच या कोई भी हम लोग कहीं बाहर से ढूंढ के नहीं लेके आते। आपसे जब बातें करते हैं ना, आपके अंदर ही सोल्यूशन रहता है, आपको पता रहता है, बट नोबडी आपको पिन पॉइंट नहीं कर पाता। आप अपने हर बार ऐसे होता है, हम लोग गाड़ी चलाते हैं, हमारा ध्यान सामने ही रहता है, लेकिन आप ऊपर से देखते हो तो आपको पता चलता है रोड गाड़ी कहाँ जा रही है, बाजू में क्या है, गाड़ी के पीछे क्या है। तो बिजनेस फिट उस तरह से आपको गाइड करता रहता है, ये डिफरेंस है।
Dr. Krishnamurthy Iyer, he is proprietor for Kartikeya Associates and connecting the dots for the future ready enterprises.
Good afternoon, friends. Am I audible? Yeah, okay, thank you. Once upon a time, there was a construction site where something was going on, and there were some masons working there, Kadaiyas. One fellow was asked, "Bhai, what are you doing?" He said, "दिखता नहीं क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं सीमेंट लेके जोड़ रहा हूँ ईंट से." अच्छा, उससे क्या बात है इसके अंदर? He became a bit angry. We asked the second person, "What is he doing?" He says, "क्या था पूछ रहा हूँ, आता हूँ, काम करता हूँ, पेट भरता हूँ अपने फैमिली का." अच्छा, we asked the third person, "What is he doing?" And he says, "Well, I'm building a hospital." But the work done by all three is the same, but the work done by the last person will have higher productivity, higher quality, just because he knows the objective. The objective of today's talk is on connecting the dots towards the future-ready enterprise. So I must say that my previous speaker, Mr. Rane, did a wonderful job. He gave half my job. He made my job very easy actually. He has spoken upon those things which are very, very common to SMEs, and I would like to go slightly differently. Business cycle is all about somebody converts money into goods. We call them manufacturing. Somebody converts goods back to money, that is marketing. Now this cycle one cycle will leave some residual profit. When we go again and again, we increase the cycle to increase the profit. We require somebody to handle the finance. But then number of people also are increasing, and we need to handle HR. So HR comes in there, that's the fourth one. And then of course we have technology, quality assurance, all that comes afterwards. But in these four ones, the first one is marketing, because manufacturing can be done by outsourcing also. But HR and finance are absolutely a must, whether we outsource or whether we make our own. And in this connection, when you see the HR functions, there are four. But the question is that when we come to human resource development, the developmental aspect, that is given less consideration, and mostly it's on compensation benefits, that is how to handle, when like he said, Rane said, there's two people are there, drivers, and make any differentiation, they were not. I know this person, he has been working with me for the last so many years, so I'll pay him more. Some young fellow has come with an MBA, he gets less, and then he leaves the company and goes away. So this compensation benefits is one thing, and other thing is compliance, which bothers them very, very much. And they do welfare, but HRD particularly is not given much of this thing. I have, in my experience with SMEs, last 4 years with Mahindra and Mahindra, when I was there, I was doing the supplier business capability building, talking to our vendors and upgrading them so that they will be partners with us in the future. So after that, I continued after retirement with working with SMEs. So it's almost now 14 years that I've been with them. And mostly I find that their pain points are employee motivation, capability building, retention of employees, or their attrition is there. So now with this kind of thing, I said, let me also ask some CEOs of companies which are 50 crores plus, and ask them as to what are the challenges they see in HR. Now, for doing this, what I did was, I interviewed some people, some CEOs, and diverse sectors I have taken. Trade and logistics, shipping, media, manufacturing, construction, life sciences, IT, automation, and branding. Just to find out what are the real pain points as far as HR is concerned or OD is concerned in today's time. This has been done last October. This work was done. And why it was done was because I had to do a keynote address at a CEO roundtable. And the keynote, the theme was problems faced in HR by CEOs. So now when this survey was done, I'm just giving you one sample of what people said about in the freight and logistics sector. Is that how do we keep people motivated? Rising costs of staff, technology implementation for growth, values percolation. See, all of us have a vision, as sir said, vision, then we have core values by which we go. How do we percolate those values down the line? The other thing was smooth monitoring and coordination. How do we assure this? These are some of the challenges which came, likewise with all the sectors that are there. So I made a summary of all the challenges just to look at this. So one was percolation of values throughout number one. Second was no chalta hai syndrome. How do we make people take ownership of jobs? So that chalta hai, ye chalega, wo chalega, chalne do. Abhi apna revenue to ban raha hai. In search terms, revenue is the first thing that people see. So wo aa gaya to bas ho gaya apne ko. No chalta hai syndrome, extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. Can I motivate the person from within rather than from outside? Because inside motivation, when it comes, it is long lasting. Outside motivation will go away. It's like a transaction that we make. Then there was culture aspects. Can we have a culture where there is psychological safety? People can say what they want. People will take feedback. Can we have a culture like that? This was the question. Authentic leadership. Then we had performance appraisal, was a major one. यहाँ पे गधे गधे हैं, घोड़े घोड़े हैं, दोनों समान नहीं है इस कंपनी में. How do you ensure that? And then we had what is called as purpose-driven organizations, driven by purpose. Now, with these challenges, what are the solutions for that? So now we said that there are some touchpoint experiences. I'm not going to share all of them, just one of them. You know, this, one or two of them we can see here as what has been done by my company called as Karthik Associates. I'll come to that. The first one is percolation of values, if you see, cascade of values. I've taken the example from a company called Carnival, it's a film company, and they also have values, and one of the values there is integrity. So the task was that how do you percolate down the line? I had some focus group discussion with people, then I was talking to the pursers. The pursers means the people who actually show you the seat where you're sitting. To that level also. So when I was talking to them, I said, integrity, what do you mean by integrity? There is some discussion happened and one person stood up and said, I know sir, if I find a cell phone left behind by a customer on the table or on the chair, I can pick it up and go home, nobody will know. But if I do that, my integrity will be below par. But if I take it and give it to the theatre manager and say that this is what I have found, it will be the minimum expectation from me. That will be at par. And if I stay with the manager and find out person and then actually hand it over to the person who has left it, that would be above par. That is integrity according to me. But that gave me an idea that if this can be made into a dictionary. So we made a dictionary in Carnival today. It's available where you have all the values and how they are being understood by people in examples, and that helps the people who join the company. They can do it very well. They also know it. Like that, there are one more example is about quality and zero defect. This we did in Quantum Greaves. That time, that zero defect is the mindset that we have. You know, as sir said, yeah, 70%. He mentioned an example of 70%. Whatever you give him, he is 70%. It's a mindset belief. This also is like a belief. There's a long story. I'm not giving it right now. We are going ahead with this. This is my introduction. I have been an engineer first, mechanical engineer, and then after that did my electrical engineering, all that, MPhil, and then I did my PhD in HR and OD. And from BITS actually. So I spent about 1.5 decades in Quantum Greaves, manufacturing. Again in Quantum Greaves, I migrated from machines to people, because I love that field, people field. Machines to people I migrated, and then I was there in the IR field actually, handling IR. But my love was in HR, which I did in Mahindra and Mahindra, almost 1.5 decades in Mahindra and Mahindra, as the head of HR for 4 plants, and later on the vendor segment, that is the MSME segment, supporting us, the vendors. That work I did for the last 4 years there. Now, I'm part of a Karthik Associates, and so what do we do in Karthik Associates? The first one is business strategy. Mission, vision, core values. How do I do it? By the unique alpha state process. So you close your eyes, the board around the table, the board is sitting and the key people are sitting, and you go into the subconscious state. You are able to see the future, 5 years from now, 3 years from now, and actually plot it. Come out of the state, alpha state, and then write down what we have seen, and we co-create the vision for 5 years. Sir talked about goals every month, every day, and all that. I am saying that a longer term goal helps us in alignment. Minimum 5 years we should take, and then of course we also help in implementation. If you see now, this one, just a triangle which shows the mission, vision and core values. Mission is the why. Why do we exist? Why does the company exist? What do we want to achieve in the next 5 years? This question we often ask people who are interviews and all that. How do you see yourself in 5 years' time? I'm saying the company should see itself in 5 years' time. What exactly they are seeing, and through alpha state process we can do it. Then there are core values. How we do the business is core values. Then SWOT analysis, and then we draw this chart, 25 to 30. Today, most companies that I'm working with are now at Vision 2030, precisely as to what is to be done. Yeah, and then in that we have to drill down. As you said that, we have to again drill down very finely. What is the top line? How is it moving? Bottom line, working capital, investment, human capital, all that. Now, by doing this, there will be a need to develop individuals. Teams are formed from individuals, so develop the team, and then develop the organization, because teams form organizations. Now, I can tell you one example from Delhi, which is a company there. They made this in 2015, 2020 was the vision, and they could achieve all the matrices in 2019 itself. 1 year earlier, they achieved all the matrices because of a follow-up which was there. Every 6 months, the board used to meet and review what we have done, what we have not done. And I'm using the balanced scorecard approach for that, people to know it. The second vertical is all about training. Now, this is an independent vertical. It's not necessary that we should go for vision, mission, core values, and then come to training. Not necessary. This will be there. So there are 4 flagship programs. One is advanced interviewing skills. So I make the MSMEs, their key people, very good in interviewing. It takes 2 day workshop, but you'll be able to get the culture fit. This person, whether it will fit your culture or not, that is the most important thing. Apart from his skills and abilities, will this company, will this person fit in the culture that I have? So that can be done. Then leveraging self and teams for higher productivity, performance, culture and feedback, and train the trainer. There are a lot of wisdom available in MSMEs I have seen. Even the person on the shop floor, the supervisor or the foreman, all they have excellent knowledge. If it can be transferred to the workers and they are over there, they can do it themselves, provided you make them into a trainer. So I convert people into trainers there and make them self-sufficient. Similarly, interviewing they can do, they don't have to depend on anybody else for interviewing. They can do the good job themselves. Team building programs, senior management programs are there. Building an Octa-based culture is all about culture management. Octa-based stands for an acronym: openness, confrontation, trust, autonomy, proactivity, authenticity, collaboration, experimentation. These 8 parameters have been given by T.V. Rao and Uday Parikh, the ex-professors from IIM. I worked with them closely and I got this culture. So today I work with this culture and I ensure that this culture is made sustainable in the organization and it leads to outperformance. That's the guarantee. It leads to outperformance there. Sustaining outperformance and all that. Now this is the second vertical. Now, some examples are there of the training and development that is done. You can see something here. Leadership program, these are 2 days each. They are independently done. It's not necessary that you should work with me for vision, mission, core values. They can be done independently also. Then we have advanced programs like this where influencing people without authority. Normally, we don't have authority over people in the system. How do I influence people without authority? Conflict resolution and all that. Now that is one part. This is the bonus that comes along with it, that fine-tuning HR processes. Manpower planning to succession planning. Every single process is fine-tuned in the organization. They already have a process for onboarding and induction. But that will be fine-tuned so that it becomes very, very professional. And scaling is possible. Today, if you are at 10 crores and you want to go to 20 crores, you need to put the systems in order first. Once the system is in place, scaling is easy. The third vertical I'm talking about is a midlife transformational coach. I do the coaching in group coaching format only when it is necessary. The individual, the team and the organization. So individuals, if I manage one-to-one, it is done through coaching there. It's a 10-week program. 10-week program in 2 hours per week. It's again online. You don't have to go anywhere. 10 weeks, 2 hours program, and it leads to an outstanding life as compared to a good life. So if somebody says, "How are you?" "I'm good." The good can be made outstanding. In your career, health, wealth, relationships. These 4 areas of life are dealt with here. This is also independent vertical. It's not necessary that we should do training and then only I come to coaching. This can be done even independently also. Now I am an author. I released 2 books. This one is on the individual. Top 3 secrets of becoming a high performer. It's through Amazon. It's on 14th April 2022. Then I wrote a book on teams, working in teams, which is 9 plus 7 ways of getting voluntary active support from people around us, including bosses, peers and subordinates. How do we get along with people? There are 16 ways here, all through cartoons and through some description there. These books, both the books can be, if you buy it at say Bombay airport, by the time you go to Chennai or Bangalore, the book is over. But it gives a fantastic overview of the individual and the team. The third circle is the organization. I'm writing a book on the organization culture now. It will come out on in 27 April. 14th April 27 is the launch of the book on organization. That is the third one which is coming up now. Now what I'm saying is that when we drive a car, we are looking at the windscreen. We don't look at the rear view mirror so much and drive. 95% is on the windscreen. Yes or no? 95% windscreen and only 5% on the rear view mirrors. But many of us tend to project the past into the future. That पहले ऐसा किया था तो ऐसे ही करना पड़ेगा हमें. कोई जरूरी नहीं है. We can always break from the past, learn from the past and go into the future. And Tony Robbins has said that it's in the moments of decision that destiny is created. So when we make a decision that now onwards I want to go on a systematic way, I'll have my own plan for next 5 years. I will do whatever interventions are required, and then I will go from good to outstanding. A decision which you make can take you forward. And this is it takes it to a 3P future, I'm saying. 3P is profit, planet, and people. All 3 can be done along with sharpening people practices from X to 5X in 5 years. It's possible if you make the plan and do all this work just to be done. We also give IT support for dashboards and finance management support. My company is an associate company. That means I work with people depending on that. So if you have a recruitment, I have a recruitment consultant who works. Media competency structure, I have somebody who does that. She's a PhD in competencies. She comes and does the competency framework. For any financial needs, I have Mr. S.T. Rao here. He does all the finance work which is involved in this. Like that, I'm a group of associates first. Yeah, and this is the last slide which is giving me all the details. My website is there as well. And I'm inviting MSME captains to engage with me either in the tea break now or any time that you feel like. I need 45 minutes in a discovery session to find out diagnosis and what can be done further on that. So look forward to working with all of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, the buzzword now in corporates or companies is politics and groupism. There is a meeting going on in the company where the core values, vision, everything is explained. When the people come out of the meeting, there is a negative guy who says, "Arey yaar, ye sab kuch nahi," and he is the head of the group, and he destroys the entire idea or ideation. How do you deal with such people?
Head of the group says that when he comes out.
No, not head of the group. A part of the person who is.
There are always, there are 5% of the people I've seen in managing change. 5% of the people are always there who will be the other side of the gate. They will never come this side. But there are some fence sitters are there. Fence sitters. When they see everything, they will jump over this side. Now for the 5% time, informally we have to handle them. Informally we have to find out in advance. Whenever I do a session, I find out who are the people who are and talk to them separately, either over tea and all that, to manage them. Through informal channels it can be managed, not through formal channels. Because there will always be somebody who will say that it's a bakwas hai, koi fayda nahi karte usse. ये तो ऐसे होता रहता है. In fact, core values so interesting. Ask somebody down the line, आपके पास कोर वैल्यूज हैं सर? कहाँ है? देखिए ना, बोर्ड लगा हुआ है, वो चार रहे हैं ना, वही है, दैट इज इट। पर ये आपको पढ़ो ना जरा, आप पढ़ लो ना, आप पढ़ते हैं ना, पढ़े लिखे हैं, आप पढ़ लीजिए। अरे मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ कोर वैल्यूज क्या है? दिस इज द केस। As long as on the board it's okay, but then it's a slow process. Change is a very slow process, and the informal route is better than the formal route. Yeah. Thank you for the question. Yeah, anybody else?
He's having one question.
Yeah, sir. I really like him. You know the way he puts it.
This is one thing which you like to bring on is the TEDx. They don't give one company for longer period. So in your engagement in HR, you like to know your thoughts on that. Was everyone doing something other than incentivizing or doing some growth plan, but still it is not working. Many of them.
Absolutely. I've got the story short. Job itself can become a cause for my motivation. Job itself can become a cause for my motivation. Very often, find people that are mismatched. That is why the interviewing process becomes very. For example, just give one example I take: the left brain and the right brain. If I am predominantly right brain, I will like PowerPoint presentations. I will like the visual things. Emotionally, I will be very, very moved. But if you bring me an Excel sheet, I get very allergic. Not the nonsense. Tell me just ऊपर बोलो क्या है, मारो गोली सर, मत दिखाओ मेरे को. But if I am a left brainer, very analytical fellow, I will love to have Excel sheets. And you give me a PPT, ये सब नहीं चलेगा, ये सब तो फेंको मत तो. बताओ exactly बताओ ये point कहाँ है, ये point कहाँ है. This is the left brain speaking. This is a major flaw today. We feel that anybody and everybody can do anything. I became an engineer because in my time only engineers and doctors used to be produced. Otherwise, the second class and all will go to law and other things. Was not so much important. Yes or no? I'm talking of 60s and 70s. But today, people have a choice and they take the field where they go. The youngsters, they know what they want. Yeah. If you can find out and talking to them by what is it that enthuses them, what is it that they like. See, I did this in one of my in Procter & Gamble. I did this. I gave them the full picture of the whole organization, what each person does, and then I asked him, choose karo, what is it that you would like to do most? That person was a troublemaker. He was being shunted from department to department. Nobody wanted him. But Ayar Kumar Bedro ठीक हो जाएगा. आ गया मेरे पास वो. So I told him, I didn't see his full file first of all. Charge sheet, suspension, सब था उसके अंदर. हमने कहा रखो बाजू में, let me see what happens. बाकी मैं बोला ये है, what you choose what you want to do. So I will do the liaison work. That time liaison work with the license work with the EDP was very important. EDP had just come in that time. The big mainframe computers and all that. So my liaison काम करो. क्यों? Because he can move around from my department to EDP, which is a one corner. He'll come back, he'll sit with people, have tea with them, gossip. That's what he wanted. But he not believe that he went over there. This person, someone started liking it, and within a month. The EDP people had phone called me saying that, can you send him to us? We want him. I said, if I just give him like that, they will say that he is a sparable. So I said, it will take some time, yeah, he will do some work here, I will give you. After 3 months, I sent him from my department to that department. That person retired as the head of EDP. Can you beat it? Amazing case study. But this only, there is a spark in each one of us. That spark has to be aligned with what I am doing. If you can get that connection, people stay. This is my view. But thank you for the question.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Chartered Accountant S.V. Rao. He is a designated partner in Famous Advisory Services LLP, and his topic is cash flow management.
See, normally the last person has always the trouble of getting out and sending first, because most of you will get bored by now. So I hope you stay awake for the rest of the thing. But before we start, let me start with. So in fact, before I know a lot of people will be loving this topic as such. But before we jump into that, let me introduce FIMAS to you. FIMAS actually stands for Financial Integrated Management Advisory Services. So we are a CFO services firm. We provide all kinds of, a wide range of CFO services across the bank. So how do we do it? We do it through a band of specialists. In fact, we have Dr. Iyer for our HR needs. We reciprocate each other for the functionality. And similarly, the CFO, even under CFO, there are lots of things that come into, because CFO is not only the finance man, he is also a process person, he is also a systems integrator, because he has to work with various systems under the entrepreneur. And then of course the finance, accounts, MIS, budgeting, vision, mission. In fact, I have been इन्होंने मेरी बात छीन ली, because we also work through a set of long-term vision which converts into 3 to 4 years of mission, and then that mission sets up the goals for the current and the next few years, so as to achieve that goal. Okay, so that said, so this is the way we work backwards and arrive at a goal, and the goals are then made into budgets. So what actually, apart from the normal way the budgeting is done, like what is the top line, how much you want to grow, all of that anyway we do, because that's how that's the starting point. Normally the turnover or the top line or the sales is the driver for the rest of the budget. But then what we do is we componentize it into different parts. What is the cost of goods, what is the HR requirement you will need, what is the marketing needs, what are the capex requirements, and all the kinds of resources that you will need to fulfill that budget, whether it is men, material, or marketing, or any of the, or money, any of the 4 M's which are very important to making that budget. But we don't stop at that. We go into the balance sheet, how the balance sheet will look like, what should be the goals to be set in the balance sheet, like what should be your debtors, number of receivable days. As of now, you're staring at 80 days, 90 days, and that's blocking your money. And that's where we come in the cash flow management subsequently. But how do we set a target to reduce that? So the balance sheet also forms part of our budget package. We have a budget module which includes the cash flow, the balance sheet, in addition to the traditional profit and loss. So of course there is a capex budget which also contributes to the P&L as well as the cash flow and the infrastructure. So that how do we do this? We have specialists in each of the fields. We have a person who is exclusively in valuation, business valuation. We have a person who does the debt and equity restructuring. We have a person on short-term financing like working capital and the banking related loans and OD facilities, etc. And of course, there are people whom we are tied up with SAP. So SAP B1 also we have partners, we have Tally partners who do the part of systems, and a lot of people, and we ourselves do the processes, financial processes and other processes, and also the MIS budgeting and the like. So the whole ambit of CFO services we try to cover. If there is anything left out, you tell me, I'll find out somebody to do that for you. Okay. But we have people, all right people at the right place, so they can collaborate and give you the best of service. Okay. And so these people are our associates, and our associates combined experience works out to over 200 years cumulatively. And as far as I am concerned, I have personally an experience of 35 years in corporate, plus the consulting experience, which is about 10-12 years now, about 40-45 years already of experience. Out of this 33-35 years of corporate experience, 20 of those were with Mahindra and Mahindra, and I was fortunate to work with Dr. Iyer. And within these 20 years, I was not in a single sector because in Mahindra they used to rotate people. So I have worked for 6 different companies in Mahindras. So over and above that, I have worked for 3 or 4, 1, 2, 3 companies before that, amounting to about 15 years. So that is the breakup. So a total of 33 years, and all of them are listed companies which I have worked with, and pretty well-known groups at that. And my partner is right over here. May you please stand up? Yeah, she is my partner in the business. She is my wife, and she also contributes generously to the growth of the company, and she has excellent out-of-the-way ideas, out-of-the-box ideas which I don't have. So obviously, I bank on her with that. And so that said, yeah, we have. So we also have some things like vision, mission, and all that. The vision is to work as a partner of choice with our customers and give the best value for money for them using the most contemporary technology which is available. So, I mean, the words may be here and there, but that's the essence of the mission. The mission is to make 100 SME clients financially independent by the end of this year, which is 6 months from now, and we are already on 65. So, we need a lot of your support to make this happen, but I'm sure we'll give excellent service, be sure of that. Okay, and of course, manufacturing clients are one of our forte, because that's where most of the complications are there in terms of receivables, in terms of inventory and all that. So that's where we come from. So having said all that, I think I've not missed out anything, but let us dive into this topic, which is cash flow management. What we will do in this cash flow management, the flow is, what is cash flow management? Then we will move to why is it so important? Because today everybody is having some cash flow problem or the other. What does it achieve? And how do we actually track and get the best of our cash flow? Because everything, when you document it, things come out well. We used to have an auditor. Earlier it was called Ferguson and Company, and later it got merged into Deloitte. So I have been facing Deloitte for almost 20 years out of the 33 years which I have been working. In fact, 30 out of 33 years. So the Deloitte, the principle was work not documented is work not done. Straight. There is no this thing. So everything that is documented only comes out, and it is possible to track. So how do we track the cash flow? And I have a few case studies which we can share. Time permitting. Okay. So how much more time do we have, madam?
Yeah, we have.
We have time. 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
5 minutes.
Okay. Okay, because I thought we are getting late. Okay. So next. Now actually, as we said, this is something which I keep quoting. Why is cash flow important? Because top line is vanity. It is for everybody else to see. दुनिया को बताने के लिए हमारा top line 50 crores था, next year 60 crore हो गया, 70 crore हो गया. That's good, not bad at all. But what is top line if there is no bottom line? If all the profits, if you work on a 2% margin, what are you doing? For every 100 rupees you are spending 98 rupees, and you are earning only 2 rupees for yourself. Out of that, some 1 rupee 40 paisa will go to the tax person. So you will have, 60 paisa will go to him, and 1 rupee 40 paisa you will keep. That's barely anything. So top line is vanity. It's good to have. Bottom line is sanity. Yes, it is great to have, because you have something to work for, some money rolling, and money rolling comes next. But there is some bottom line to show, X% of net profit to sales, so which is what we should aim for. But what is less often said is cash flow is immunity, because any profit that is made which is only in the books, it is good only for the taxman. It is not good for you, because if you don't get money out of it, then there is no use having this kind of useful top line and bottom line. So you have to have a cash line also. That is why you have cash flow which has to be monitored, which has to be attained, and which has to be every time and time again looked into with greater focus rather than the top line and bottom line. Of course, they are also important, but then this is no less important. But that is a kind of slightly ignored area. So why is cash flow important? Because it keeps your stakeholders and everyone else not only engaged but also supportive. So who are your stakeholders? Number one on top is government, because you have to pay them anyway. There is no choice. If you have income, you have to pay income tax. If you have sales, you have to pay GST. If you have services, also you have to pay GST. And you have so many other taxes. If you have employees, you have to pay PF, you have to pay ESI, you have to pay profession tax, and every system. So government is the first stakeholder which you cannot default unless you want to risk your credibility and attract penalties and interest. And these second one is not vendors really. The second one is the lenders, because you have to pay them their EMIs, and payment to them on time is very much required in the order of importance. After the taxes, you have to pay your lenders, and that helps you maintain your credit worthiness. Then after that, you have to pay your employees. They are the third most important people. You have to pay not only the employees their dues, but you have to pay them on time as well, because that's where you get a good morale from the employees and you get good productivity at the end. Then, of course, vendors also are very important, but comparatively, because of our cash crunch, they become the victims of getting sidetracked for quite some time. And this, this is a typical thing. I don't want to, belittle their efforts, because they are very important, but still, they are not given the credit that is due to them. We get credit from them. We don't give them credit for the services they do in a lighter way. And last but not the least, there are investors who have put in money for you. So we need to ensure that they have a predictable cash flow, predictable flow of funds as we have promised them, and also make their investments attractive. We want a greater stake from them as time progresses, and all this results in finally lower income, lower interest rates. Interest rate burden goes down, and what happens is eventually we use our funds more effectively, more productively. So when we use our funds in a very optimal way, the interest rate automatically comes down. Suppose, for example, we all know about what a CC limit or what a OD limit is. If your OD limit is say 5 CR, it is not necessary that you always keep hitting that 5 CR all the time. That may or may not be optimal, because you are paying interest on the amount which you have drawn. That everybody understands. So it has to be at an optimal level, which is required by you, which is required by the business, which fuels growth also, and which improves your cycle. But the main thing has to be done by you, not by the bank. The collections has to be done by you. The funding has to be done by you. The inputs has to be done by the owner. So to keep that thing in running condition, we have to do a lot, like including the business owners. So how does it happen? If you manage your cash flow smartly, what happens? Automatically, statutory dues are minimized, statutory defaults are minimized rather. Then we have stability in operations even during tough times. Then we have growth opportunities. These two are definitely required, because even in a normal course you need to do this otherwise also. But if you have some things working a little more efficiently, then you have growth opportunities which helps you grow organically, inorganically. And if you do even a little more efficient than that, there is a possibility of another company being interested in you and working together either as a full-time merger or as a partnership or joint venture or whatever. So it helps improve your business overall. And after that, if you still have money, and that is the state we want to be, okay, you have to have enough reserves to tide over emergencies, to tide over downturns, and finally you need to build a war chest. That is where your ultimate aim should be, because tomorrow whatever happens, if you want to buy infrastructure or machinery, and if your debt averse, then this war chest helps in bringing most of your contribution from your funds, and with a little of borrowing. Borrowing is also required, but you have to keep your debt to equity at a very competitive level, because that's where the bankers look at it from. Now let us start I'm sorry. See, here we have a weekly cash flow projection template which we have developed. This is the way, how do we do things? From what and why we come, how do we do things in very, very basic terms. We have several, so you have the opening balance, whatever was there at the beginning of each week. The closing balance of that goes into the opening balance of the next week and so on. This is fully automated. So what we do today is we forecast week-wise what will happen in the next 5 weeks. And for that, we don't plunk in the numbers here directly. We put it in a worksheet which gives full details of what is receivable and when. See, so if you have some ex party promising you some money of say 10-12 lakhs on 5th of June, which you are expecting, you can plonk it on 5th of June, automatically the respective column will get populated. So how these are all receipts. So what are the kinds of receipts you may have? Inflows will be advances against new orders or payments against current order execution, or there could be some old debt which has come to you after a lot of perseverance, and if you are very lucky you will get a good chunk from there also. Here all these three are from customers only, but we have broken it up in such a way that it becomes very clear as to where the money is coming from. Then if you have planned some borrowings from bank or institutions, if the money is going to come, we plonk it as one more line item. Then if you want to introduce capital or interest and returns from investments, that might come to you every quarter, every half year, whatever, from the bank, or you may receive dividends from whatever investment you have made. Then you could have money coming from another bank, that is what in accounting parlance we call contra entry. So that's also a receipt for this statement. And there could be other inflows which you can actually have at the back of your mind, back of envelope, whatever, you can just see whatever other inflows are expected, you can put it there. And in payments, exactly in the pecking order, which I kept saying earlier also, statutory dues takes the top because you have to pay, whether you make profit, losses or cash flows, you have to pay. EMIs and repayment of borrowings comes next. Mandatory payments I call like payment of electricity bills, telephone bills, etc. because it is at a risk of being cut if you don't pay them. Then you have salaries and wages, interest. Then you have capital payments like investments if any, and interbank transfers which you pay out from this bank to another bank. Then you have supplier payments, you have monthly regular payments typically, and other expenses which are, these are classified. We can change the classification also, not an issue, but this is what we have tried to build, looking into the experiences of many of the SMEs. So this has come as a common format for us. So after removing after adjusting the balances and the surplus or deficit, the closing balance would now be item number D. And if you say you have to have some minimum balance every time, you reduce that minimum balance. So whatever is available is F. Okay. So this is done on a week-to-week basis. So what happens if the projections go awry? If the projection says, now let us look at this. The previous one was showing this. You just concentrate on column number 2 because this is where the magic will happen. Okay. Suppose you would think this is not going to happen. So इसमें से current order execution से नहीं आने वाला है. You know, 3-4 days before, you know that it is not going to come on the 2nd of July. So you are removed it. What happens? Automatically the thing gets recalculated, and because you are short on cash, you will have to have something on the other side to compensate. Otherwise, how will you pay the other dues? So obviously what you do is, काटो, किसको काटेगा? Suppliers को. So from whatever it was, this has come down to 52,000. From, I think it was 1,52,000, it has come down to 52,000. So all this is happening in a worksheet which is at the back end, transaction sheet. You just write the date or change the date, and automatically it will change the slots and go into what your prediction will be over a period of 5 weeks at a time. So this is how this template has been built, and we can keep improving on this also. So you know, definitely at the end of this week you are going to have a huge deficit. So this becomes a forward-looking exercise of what my things will be. So this obviously, because there is a deficit here, maybe you will like to defer this investments of 3 lakhs or reduce the investment of 3 lakhs to say 2 lakhs or 1 lakh, because this automatically this will impact. So this is a very live sheet which you can keep playing around and get into this thing. This sheet is available for anyone who connects with us. We can discuss this sheet because this we found would be very useful for our SMEs and MSME partners. Okay, now few case studies. We had a client who was over trading. What is over trading? Eating more than what one can, chewing more than what one could eat. There is something like, what is that? Chewing more than what you can digest. So people just going on and on and on, trading so much that it was difficult for him to match, and somewhere if there is a little change, there is a roadblock or a speed breaker in the collection, then automatically those whole system fell. So what do we do? Obviously we have to increase his limit. That is what, yeah. So this was one, and result was they resisted the temptation. That is number one. They tried to work within their limits, but still achieve their goals. Second was typically Haldiram is a case where there was a balance. There was a mismatch of balance between receipts and payments. Payment of creditors was always being done, but receipts were less, so matching was not done. They improved by digitizing the collections, by making their payments more streamlined, and that is how they ensured smoother flows. In OYO rooms, there was a clogging. What do you mean by clogging? There was huge blockage of funds. So they did a debottlenecking. They tried to release, they changed their geography from X to Y, because in X they were not getting the money that they were wanting to. So they just did the debottlenecking by changing their geography. And of course, there was one more client of ours who was faced with heavy interest burden, because there are more borrowed funds than his own, with a debt equity ratio of something like 5:1 or something, some huge figure. So, which means for every 1 rupee is put in, he had borrowed 5 rupees. That was how he was earning this. So, you had a huge interest burden and therefore had a lot of problems. So, what we did was we worked on that and we brought that down to something less than 1.5. Today, 1 rupee he has of his own and 50 paisa he has from borrowed funds. So, that's the achievement over the last 3 years we have been able to make. So this is how we guide and help our clients to improve their cash flows. So these are our contact numbers. LinkedIn will send across to you because the print is too tiny. So thank you. And this is our tagline. Your concern is our concern. So feel free. And if you have any questions, quickly we'll just take 2 questions because I think time is running out.
Hello.
Nothing. Superb. I admire this. Yeah, please. Please. Hey, it's good. You need a mic.
Yeah. When you are putting up this in the cash flow format and all those things, just wanted to know like whether this is what like expectation and all those things, whether it is providing any solution that what you can do, because maybe you would be having history of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and depending on your cash flow in last 6 months and maybe last 4.5 year pattern, that what could be the problem, because not whatever you plan normally it's not achieved. So, and what could be the probable solution for this? Whether it's inbuilt like AI type of predictive analysis over here, or it is just plain working like estimation of the finance team or company's team, and on that basis you do plus and minus depending on the happening of improvement. Is this
good question. See, these are based on actual experience. So these are something like the latest receivable statements से लिया हुआ. These are not on any past dues. Past may be entirely different. If you have changed your mode of collection from normal NEFT to digitized, then we have a different pattern. So the whole thing will change based on what is happening as of today. Because main thing is payments are certain. Receipts are what you have to concentrate on.
Here, just on that only I would like to know. For example, if you're supplying to good corporates and all those things, system itself can say, okay, you can probably try for 30% of the receivable under trades.
Yeah.
So
that
there's a solution.
Yeah, yes.
That's not like SME might be managing their business within their limited knowledge and all those things. So if all these features are fiddle there, probably it can add new avenues to make positive cash.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. In fact, that is one of the features which has been built in this. So it's already there. Like if you know, but remember one thing, for SMEs, good corporates are not necessarily good paymasters. So they are
the trade systems. Like it's a
so you have to be careful of
if they are accepted.
that.
No, what I'm saying, if they are accepted bills, automatically through digital platform you will get the credit.
Yeah, that flows from the system itself.
But MSME may not be knowing. So if they know, okay, if this solution appears to, okay, get yourself registered or get accepted bill from your buyer.
Yeah, which is what we do as part of our CFO services.
Okay.
Yeah, which is part of it. Anyone else or everyone has understood?
One I could, can I add one?
Yeah, please.
What we do is the MIs, what we are doing every month. Your question, how we help providing solutions. He has come up with the problems and how we are actually presenting it to the owner. But we are coming up with the solutions also. So we have the MIs, we have the MRM, management review, every month we have. So before 10 days, next month he can make the improvements on the past data. How he has to improve on the data. So the next month is an improvement every month or month.
Yeah, would you like to add on to the education model?
No.
How we are going to?
Yeah, the big, we are running out of time.
Yeah, okay. We had a lot of things to talk, but then we have time which is common to all of us, which doesn't stop for anyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for all of you for your introduction and showing your interest into the businesses. As all of you knows, SME Chamber of India is basically a organization helping on the manufacturing and industries as well as the exports. So in this scenario, basically we get a lot of ideas, a lot of connections, a lot of deals, a lot of inquiries, as well as we get a lot of inquiries as well as a lot of deals with us. If you'll ask me, there are some of the manufacturers, some of the exporters, some of the consultants, and some are legal advisors, as well as we are closely working with the industry. So what I mean to say is, we can give you a lot of ideas, lot of businesses through this connect. Okay, simply अगर मुझे पूछते हो that the guy says कि they are funding 250 plus crore, 250, 350 plus 50 crore plus they are doing. So we have a lot of companies, those are into a technically into a stress or technically into a verge of NPA or technical NPA companies, wherein you guys can look the cash flows and you can fund. Second thing, we have some of the companies, those promoters have crossed their age and they wanted to sell their businesses. So उस टाइप में भी हमारे पास businesses है. You might be interested or your customers might be interested जो manufacturing industries है. Sorry, yeah, you want to say something?
I am interested in that.
So we can talk one on one. I can give you the list as per your criteria.
Your personal introductions.
Sorry, my name is Mahesh Salunke. I'm one of the director of the SME Chamber of India. And basically, if you'll ask me, so I am more into the licensing, and I take care from the finance part of the association as well as into the licensing section also.
How long have you been?
I'm here since '96. So I'm closely working with Mr. Salunke from the '96.
Same year I started with you.
Yeah. So as you said, roll ties into NCLT. So we have some sort of NCLT cases also, wherein we can help industries to buy out those cases if they have some sort of a running cash flow. Yeah. So lot of opportunities are there. आपके जैसे clients को अगर land की requirement है तो we have SME Industrial Parks of India, जहाँ पे we have a huge land bank available for the industries. You name it, we will give you the land bank over there. जो कि अगर आपको procure करना है तो you can do the procurement. You wanted to JV, you can do the JV. So these are just some sort of examples what I am giving to you. आपको कभी भी कुछ भी लगता है, so you just write it to us कि this is your requirement. आज तो ये छोटा सा गैदरिंग है कि जो 50 लोग यहाँ पे आए हुए हैं, इतने लोगों के अंदर भी हम लोग अगर कुछ इफेक्टिवली कर सकते हैं, as he is into HR, he is into financial consultant, कोई IPO के लिए कर रहे हैं, कोई HR के लिए कर रहे हैं, सो कलेक्टिवली अगर देखा जाए, आपके साथ में ही आप अगर कुछ टाइप कर लेते हो तो चल भाई, मैं तो फाइनेंस कंसल्टेंसी कर रहा हूँ SME के लिए, बट माय SME नीड द HR also, so you can onboard HR team over there. So likewise, vice versa, we can do a lot of business. We have bank here, Kotak Bank here, Kotak Bank have a lot of products over here. Yeah. You can also pitch that product to your industries, your clients. So there are a lot of avenues, friends. I will not take much time. Today's speakers have done a great job. Mr. Chandra Prakash Jha, Kusuma Khan, राकेश राणे जी, अय्यर साहब भी हमारे बहुत दिन से जुड़े हुए एसोसिएशन के साथ में. They have a group of consultants, basically those who are retired from the MNCs, yeah? And they are doing it voluntarily consultancy to the industries. So we also invited him today, Mr. Rao, again our senior person and old friend associated with the chamber. So I'm again thankful to all the speakers, all the dignitaries, and special thanks to all of you guys. Thank you very much for present here. Become a member with the chamber, avail the services of the chamber, and we can collectively take this ahead and for the development of the obviously SME sector. Thank you very much. We have arranged tea coffee snacks next room. So enjoy the tea coffee over the networking. Thank you.